I'm coming for all of you. Right now, there's a 15-year-old sophomore in high school who has no idea they're studying nursing just so they can wipe my ass in 17 years. I'm 50 and single. That's a fantastic combination. I'm going to spend my golden years dating a handful of spit and a jug of Astroglide. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I got questions, man. I hope you got answers. That seems weird. It's a one-way dialogue, but I do it all the time when I say right, and I expect an answer from you guys, and then I'm sure you yell it at your iPod vaginas, and you go, yeah, right, Mike. Because we're all in this together, right? We're all babbling. This is a one-way conversation that goes two ways, except I can't hear your way. You can only hear mine. I tell you, I gotta fucking hook it up. I gotta do something on a Twitch or a stream or something where I can actually hear you guys talking back to me. It'll be a togetherness thing. It'll be us in a room, us around a table, me on a television like that fucking Asian dude in Batman when fucking Joker walks in and tells everybody, hey, quit listening to the television there. I can't do Joker's voice. I can't do Heath Ledger. I have two friends who can. Maybe I should call Max. Maybe I should call David Lawrence. The two of them can do the Heath Ledger voice from Joker. Not from Joker. The movie's not called Joker. It's called From Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns, Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight Rises is Bane. Dark Knight Returns, I believe, is Joker. Or it just be The Dark Knight. Which actually, no, because I Googled it the other day looking for it, and Dark Knight just comes up as the fucking... they made an animated version of the Dark Knight comic book. Which I don't know if it's good or not, folks. You know why? Here's why I don't know if it's good or not. Brace yourselves. Because I'm fucking 50. That's why. I'm a 50-year-old man. I can't be researching fucking cartoons and shit like that. And albums. I gotta grow up. I gotta do something else. I gotta learn about stocks and bonds. I gotta start reading Business Insider magazine. Fuck, you know what? I gotta fix my mouth or have it removed or replaced because already I start fucking talking to you guys and I got spit pulling up in the front of my goddamn mouth and I think you can hear it. And even if you can't, I keep blowing tiny spit bubbles like between my two teeth because the gap is getting bigger. What the fuck is wrong with my head? What the hell's wrong with my skull? You ever see skulls with perfect teeth? Where the fuck do those come from? Who's only killing fucking people who are great dental patients? People with goddamn veneers. Who killed my brother and skinned his head? Because my brother Lenny's got a fucking teeth like a goddamn picket fence. He's got the Matt Dillon from fucking Something About Mary teeth. Just crazy choppers. Meanwhile, I've got like one baby tooth seceding from the union and a couple others with gaps happening. I got a mess in my mouth. And you know what? I have dental. I paid for dental insurance. Hear me smacking my lips trying to get the spit out of my fucking mouth. God damn it! I did it again. It's fucking weird. Like before I even sit down, I do a thing. I rinse my mouth. I do this. I get ready. I know how old am I? I rinse my mouth. I get some Epsom salts out. I put a mustard plaster on my back. I take a back soak. I go ahead and lay down in a lukewarm tub. How bad would that be, folks? I wouldn't even admit to that because you know me over the fucking years that a bathtub is just a bowl of filth. You can't sit there in your own goddamn filth. Tea's a bag of dirt and a bath's a bowl of filth. Nobody likes any of those things. Particularly me. I fucking hate them both. Oh, you know what? Oh my God, what will be the worst fucking thing of all time? You're already ahead of me. You've already said it out loud. A bathtub full of tea bags. Oh, fuck. Can you imagine sitting in a bowl of dirt filth? Tea filth? Earl Grey? Some Earl, just fucking leaving a ring around the collar in your fucking Earl Greys? That sounds like you did your pajamas with the fucking whisk or whatever the fuck that was. What was it? No more ring around the collar. I don't know. I'm old. I'm an old fucking dude. Are you guys, by the way, are you still going to listen to me when I'm bald? That's how fucking old I am. Can you tell? I have no targets this week, so it's all about me. Let's pick me apart. Let's destroy me. Let's take me to fucking task. Let's take me out to the goddamn woodshed. I gotta try and just talk like a normal person on this show, man. Just quit filling the air, quit rolling downhill. And even, I'm trying to fill silences. As you know, it's fucking the same thing, and I can't even repeat it myself every fucking week, over and over. It's Halloween. I should be, I should come as a competent broadcaster. That's what I should fucking do. I should have dressed up as a Cronkite. I should have gone mustache. I should go with solemn mustache. Was that a solemn mustache, really? Well, it was solemn when the JFK thing got shot, but if you ever reported anything happy, would you still call it a solemn mustache? Was Walter Cronkite ever happy? Find a picture of Walter Cronkite smiling and throw it on the Joker's page. A Joker's page that I plan on paying a lot more attention to now that David yelled at me on the phone today. He didn't really yell at me on the phone. I had a fight with David yesterday. Well, it was yesterday, really. And then he's like, you want to hash this out? I'm like, nah. And I didn't want to, but I did want to. I knew I had to, kind of, that sort of thing. You've been friends with the guy for 35 fucking years. You got to talk to him and go ahead and straighten some things out. Absolutely. But at the same time, you wind up doing that thing in your head where you're like, nah, fuck it. No thanks. I'll burn it all down. Let's fucking destroy everything. Let's leave it all in rubble and pieces. Because let's face it, I would have been doing the artwork from now on after this fucking cataclysmic battle that we had. We went back and forth. And then we wound up talking today, and, he's got complaints, and he's got his grievances, and I've got some complaints and grievances, and we aired them today. And I explained my position on some of them, and he said what he had to say, and we got it all squared away. I think for now, we'll see if things change going forward. You'll know if next week the artwork is just like a snapshot of me smiling at a desk with spit hanging out of my mouth, because that's how I fucking do the show apparently these days. But David mentioned to me, he's like, dude, you got all this possibility in front of you. You got like a red carpet of things that we could do. Because he's a guy who, he creates a lot of bits. He wants to do bits. He wants to do all sorts of stuff where he goes, hey, man, we should do this. We should put this up. We could put this bit up. And I'm like, yeah, these are great. And then we record a bunch of stuff, or we do film some stuff at his house. And then I go, nah, I fucking... it's the same thing that happens with this show, where I tell myself I'm not any good at this. And I know you fucking are tired of hearing it, and I'm tired of fucking saying it. I'm just explaining to you what goes on inside my fucking twisted brain, where I just go, hey, you know what? Every time I sit down at this goddamn microphone, again, I tell myself I'm going to be good at this. And then I go, no, you're not. You're not good at this. Why the fuck would you even think about talking to people? 10 fucking years. You know why? Because I don't have anybody here to fucking give me any approval. So it's why me just talking in a goddamn space. And then I do a show last week, and I'm like, dude, this show is fucking hilarious. It's like 2 hours. And then I heard like from 2 people who are like, yeah, good show. I'm like, oh, man. Because I can see how many people are listening. And only 2 said good show. And I know you're like, oh, Mike, we got to give you attaboys. No, you don't, even though you do. But I like them. Certainly, they make me happy when they happen. And I guess I shouldn't base my entire fucking life on attaboys and shit like that, because I do the show for other reasons. We got Patreon, we got all the other things out there. But I've mentioned before, I do the show for kudos. And then when you do a show and you're like, yeah, I put this to bed, I'm feeling pretty fucking good about it. I got a couple of stories last week that brought it home after talking to Justin and being funny. And then I go out and a couple of people are like, yeah, that was a really good show. 2 people. And I'm like, And then other people are like, you're stupid. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking cool. Nobody really said I was stupid. I mean, that seems like strong. But people certainly had their grievances that they aired. It doesn't happen a lot, but occasionally it happens. And it sends me fucking spinning off into space, which is dumb and it shouldn't. After 10 years, you should develop a scab on these sorts of things. And you should go, yeah, who the fuck cares, man? I know what I do. And I know I got this many listeners. And these people love it. And I get listeners. I was going to say listeners and letters. From people all the time telling me that they're on board. This is just me fucking talking, man. This is just me airing out my grievances and clearing out what I said as a skull with less than perfect teeth. And you sit there, you listen. And do you like it? Probably not. You're probably thinking to yourself, hey, Mike, you going to get to some fucking bits? Eventually. Who are you, David? Because Max was like, hey, dude, we got all these bits and then you don't fucking use them. And I'm like, well, there's no real spot for them in the show because there's that one spot at the end in between the plugs. And he's like, well, you should get more comfortable with doing spots, like making them happen in certain spaces. And I'm like, yeah, that's real. That's easy to say. But I mean, to fucking, when you're trying to just talk with no script and make shit happen out of your fucking brain, it's weird to just stop and go, oh, you know what? I've got some momentum. I'm going to stop right now and put in a taped bit. Like if I were to do it right here, how weird would that be? All right. We've been through all of it. I don't know.
I got a lot of stuff here.
I saw it, and some of it I like, some of it I don't. I don't know.
Some of the scripts are pretty good, though.
Yeah, but what are you most confident in?
Did you read Shit Brigade?
Yeah, I read Shit Brigade.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
I'm not doing Shit Brigade.
Why not?
Why would I ever do something called Shit Brigade?
Dude, Shit Brigade is hysterical. Come on, the accents alone. We can do this. It's pretty funny.
No, you can do it. You can do accents. But do you really think the accents are the problem here?
Dude, Shit Brigade is hysterical when you think about the helmets.
Why would I do something called Shit Brigade ever? I know you want to do Shit Brigade. I know you want to pitch Shit Brigade. I know you put Shit Brigade on top of the pile. I saw it, but I'm not doing something called Shit Brigade.
What the fuck, man? What did you write anything? What did you write?
Tell me more about Shit Brigade. Okay, so maybe it wasn't super weird. Maybe the subject matter was weird, but not the actual bit itself, or not the act of stopping for a bit. See, the thing is, when I had a producer, and I know you're tired of hearing it, but I don't fucking care, man, because that's what I got to talk about. When then I could stop and go, hey, this goes here, or that goes there, or I could just kind of stop talking and lean back and take off my cans and stretch while the producer did producer stuff, like saving stuff and titling stuff. Now I got to do all that shit. Who the fuck wants to do that, man? Nobody wants to do that. I'm the goddamn talent. Talent shows up and talks and leaves. When you do voiceover work, you go into a fucking little glass booth and you sit at a fucking thing and somebody brings you some orange juice. Well, actually, that's not good for your vocal cords. They'll bring you a hot tea, which I don't want, bag of dirt, bring around the fucking bathtub, Earl Grey. Or they'll just come in and they'll bring you some sort of nice beverage, like a warming beverage. Not a hot chocolate because that puts too much muck in your mouth. Maybe hot water. You just drink hot water. I'm the most boring man alive. I demand a glass of hot water, please. Maybe cider, although that gets you a little puckery for whatever voiceover you're doing. What hot beverage can I drink to take the edge off my goddamn throat when I'm doing a voiceover, folks? At least to make this analogy work. Again, when you're doing voiceover, you sit in a booth, someone caters to you, they walk in, they're like, your glass, and it's got fucking hot liquid in it, you drink it, it calms your vocal cords, it keeps them from sputtering and jumping around, which happens a lot. I get a lot of jangly throat, which is not good. Nobody wants jangly throat. But I'll be doing the show occasionally, and you'll have spitty mouth and jangly throat, which I think that bit's coming up soon. Stick around. We'll have spitty mouth and jangly throat. They'll be coming at you live, as I would say if I were Tesla. Isn't that coming at you? Coming at you live. Am I coming at you live? I think it's Tesla. I don't know, because I'm old, man, and I keep fucking forgetting shit. And people now, it used to, again, the Joker's page used to be everybody would come in and they'd be like, oh man, I love the show and this was great. And how about this part? And I was talking to David today and he's like, man, this page is just now for like, hey, remember that show where Mike talked about a squirrel? Which one was that? Like it's now this weird reference Wikipedia. There's no joy in Mudville, and certainly none anymore at the West Side 86 Jokers page. It's just the people, and also look, again, because I don't engage people. As I said, David told me, he's like, you got to get in there, man. You got to fucking mix it up. But what he neglects to say is then I got in there the other day to mix it up. I answered somebody right away when they asked what I did, and somebody's like, who hacked Mike's phone? Well, dude, don't bust my fucking balls if I'm coming in to fucking mix it up. You told me I got to mix it up. And then you're going to go ahead and bust my fucking sack? That seems ridiculous. You told me to do it, and then I did it, and you're like, ah, dick. And he didn't really do that. He's having fun. We're all having fun over there on the Joker's page. At least we were before it turned into Wikipedia about fucking squirrels. Hey, when did Mike talk about a possum? Hey, when did Mike do this? Hey, when did Mike do that? Hey, when was Mike funny? That should be the question that you should ask on the West Side 86 Jokers page. Hey, do you guys remember when Mike was funny? Wasn't that grand? Wasn't that the best? When he could just fucking relax, like he was in like when he was in a fucking voiceover booth and he was catered to. When you're an actor, you go to your trailer, you learn your lines, you come out, and you know what you do? You act. That's it. That's all you got to do, because you're the fucking talent, man. Nobody tells the actor when he's finished to go make a bunch of fucking brown rice for craft services so the director of photography can have lunch. Fuck that, man. I'm tired of making fucking lunch for the director of photography. I just want to talk. Don't make me punch buttons and do shit and stop down and create titles and fucking insert bits. And again, it's not because the bits are not worth playing. Certainly, as you just heard, these bits are high quality. They are written from the top of our intelligence, and they're absolutely roping you in and thinking to yourself, man, why don't Mike and David do more of these bits? Why doesn't Mike do some of these bits on his own? Why doesn't David do some of his own bits and put those up and burst those into the goddamn show? Which would seem weird, because I'm the one doing the show. Oh my God, don't wait. Let's not fucking encourage David. If you get him doing his own bits and he fucking writes those down, then he's going to send them to me, and that's more goddamn work I got to do that I don't want to fucking do. I got to insert those into the goddamn show. It's bad enough putting my own bits and figuring out time codes and looking for shit that got stopped down. Man, oh man, what the fuck? I'm sorry. I just inhaled and I hit a vocal cord that was strange. Again, I got spitty and jangly happening, which is no good. Nobody wants a spitty and jangly mouth. This is what happens when you're old. In my prime, when I was 40, when I started this fucking show, fuck that. I just did every show with a goddamn raging heart on in my fucking throat. That didn't sound good at all. Hold on. What I meant was I was virile, and I had a fucking, my cock was hard and my throat was hard and I was ready to bust it out. I meant to say like my vocal cords were as hard as a fucking cock. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I meant to say. You know what? When I was 40, I wouldn't have made a fucking mistake like that. I would have actually gone ahead and done the proper show. I would have said the right thing, and we all be chuckling to ourselves right now and celebrating and laughing and thinking about all the great things we're going to do in the next 10 years. But here we are 10 years later, we're realizing, you know what? None of those great things have been done. None of those great things have happened. If anything, Mike has regressed. He was in a room with a guy, and then he's in a room with a chick, and now he's in a room by himself, and he's got a guy who's doing art, and he winds up fighting with him last night and having a fucking rowdy dow, and that turned into a thing where he almost fucking walked away from the whole goddamn enterprise. David didn't. It's funny because, here's the thing with our personalities. David, he takes a handful of pills, and he loves himself out, I think. I don't know. They're anti-Schmitty pills. That's what he grabs. He's got a prescription that literally says anti-Schmitty pills, in like the old Batman show, when they'd have like anti-bat spray or anti-shark repellent or whatever the fuck. He's got anti-Schmitty pills. He grabs a handful of those to calm himself down. And then he winds up dealing with me, because in the middle of this fucking fight yesterday, we were talking, and I'm like, well, fuck, dude. I said something, and he goes, well, good luck getting somebody else to deal with this fucking nonsense. And he didn't say fucking because his kid, my grandson was at his house. But folks, I don't know if you know this. I have an alternate family. They live with David. They live in the basement. That's why I go home periodically. I don't go to record bits. I go to just throw ham hocks to my kids and have them raise themselves. Because God knows I don't want to do that work either. I don't want to do this work of recording and punching buttons and inserting fucking bits. And I certainly want to go home and raise my own children. So I lock them in Mex's basement. And I go home and throw them ham hocks once every 3 months. Which is, probably not ideal for their development. But that's okay. I think, honestly, with the way the world's going right now and the way things are being shut around, I think they're going to fit right in. just feral kids running around eating ham hocks and attacking people in the fucking street. It's coming. That's happening. Earlier today, there was a fucking mow down truck situation in fucking New York. How did it take this long for fucking terrorists to realize that trucks or guns or cars, trucks or cars could be a weapon, and they could just fucking mow through people? And then this guy yelled, I guess he yelled Allahu Akbar out the window, and everybody's like, see, Muslim terrorist. But he's like from Uzbekistan, which is near Russia. And everybody's like, if that travel ban was happening, this never would have happened. That guy's not on the fucking travel ban. I got news for you. No matter if he's on the travel ban or not, he would have just driven over here on that fucking truck, rampaged some fish on the way. Yeah, go read about that. Read about the great Uzbekistani truck fish destruction. That was fucking terrible. All these Uzbekistanis climbed into their fucking pickup trucks to drive to America to wreak havoc, and all of them, this is what they did. They drove on top of the water and smashed in a fish, and he was the one who made it, because they cleared the way out. It was almost like a football kickoff return. All the Uzbekistani pickup trucks, they had like thousands of them, and he was behind them like a Devin Hester Ushki, or whatever the fuck. I can't think of a Roski. I think of what's a Russian name? Well, Putin's a name, but I don't want that to be. Mednikov. There you go. He was Devin Hesterenko. There you go. Hesterenko. Much better. As I make jokes about terrorists and kickoff returns. That's fun. But the point is, folks, there's no point. There's no point to the show or any show at all. But David was like, good luck getting somebody else to follow this fucking nonsense. And I'm like, fuck. And that was when I went, I go, well, look, fine, great, fine. I'll call you tomorrow. And he goes, I look forward to it. And he laughed. And I go, well, fuck it. I don't have to call you tomorrow, man. Fuck it. He goes, you don't want to? I go, no, fine, fuck. And he goes, fine, fuck. All right. Hangs up. I hang up. And then I fume and I put my phone in the fucking charger. I didn't check it for like 5 hours. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to deal with this shit. And then in my head, I'm going, all right. I don't have any more art. So what am I going to do going forward? How do I fix this? What am I going to do for myself? And I'm like, well, I'll just use the fucking logo, man. And then I'm like, well, then people are going to be pissed off that there's no fucking artwork. And I'm like, yeah, probably. And I go, well, I have a backlog of music. And then and I could probably just go ahead and put in songs and things like that. That'll work out. And then in my head, I go, well, fuck. I should actually, I don't really own that shit. I mean, I do kind of. He signed, when we had an agreement, we were partners. But at the same time, all of I have, work usage of everything that we've created. So in my head, I'm going, well, fuck. Fuck it. Just burn it. Delete all that shit and fucking send it back to him. You don't want to fucking do with that because you don't want to fucking get a phone call that goes, oh, man, you can't use this fucking song. This is what I did last night alone in my apartment. And I'm going on and on to myself. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, I have bits. I get plenty of bits. And if we co-wrote the bits, because the music he does his own, I don't want to fucking use his music if he's not involved in the fucking show. But the bits, now that's something we co-created. We put together these bits as a team. And whether he's in it or not, I've got these bits and I own them. But the problem is getting them into the show. That's the real problem. Because he's like, again, you should put the bits into the fucking show. And I'm like, I get that. I understand. But doing the show and fucking talking, it's not a natural movement for me to just stop talking and put in a fucking bit. It just seems like such an awkward thing to do.
Man, auditions make me so nervous.
Oh, man, I climb into my own head all the time.
What are you here for?
Shit Brigade.
I'm here for Shit Brigade, too.
No way, that's great. Who are you reading for?
I'm reading for Corn Bits.
Oh, Corn Bits, I saw that in there. It's not a bad part.
Yeah, what about you?
I'm here for Constable Bob Shart.
Oh, see, I wanted to be Constable Bob Shart.
It's a good piece.
Yeah,
it's a good piece. But I'll tell you what, I really want a shot at Lieutenant Diarrhea Davis.
You got the build for it?
Right? Thank you. I thought so, too.
Yeah,
and that moment on Shit Mountain when he blows the shit conch?
Yes.
That's a game changer. That's your hero moment right there. I want a shot at that.
Can you play the shit conch?
I brought my own shit conch.
You did?
I was third chair shit conch in high school.
Can I get all my corn bits? Everybody, corn bits?
That's me, man.
Oh, fantastic.
Wish me luck.
All right, break a shit.
And it's not a habit I want to get into. Because, I've got enough bad habits. But I guess that's actually a good habit to go ahead and throw bits in and try to make it work. To learn how to do some sort of audio work instead of just talking and pressing a few buttons. I'm not really a producer. I mean, I'm a producer in the sense that I produce the show and then I make it, I create the content. But I would say that I'm not a producer in the sense that I know how to push the buttons and shit like that. Jesus Christ. Let's go back to me having a hard on in my throat. Can we talk about that for fuck's sake? Let me tell you this, folks. It's Halloween. Halloween is upon us, and I know you're thinking to yourself, well, ghosts and goblins and all that other bullshit. And then here I say to you, Happy Halloween, Spider-Man! That's what I say. I may have said that on a previous show. I don't know. That was a code that Mike Toomey and I came up with when we were on the road. When we hated a show, when we'd be on stage, at the point where you hated the show, you had to say, Happy Halloween, Spider-Man, in the Green Goblin's voice from the animated Spider-Man show. So then I would be on stage and he would hear it and he would be the only one laughing because everything was going poorly. And obviously it was if I was going to bust out, Happy Halloween, Spider-Man. That seems loud. But then, of course, he can do the voice and sound just like the Green Goblin. I just sound like me doing Mike Toomey doing the voice of the Green Goblin. But we would do these fucking road shows in horrible places. And when things were not going well, that would be our code. I think I should have been shouting it all fucking show long for this show, for God's sakes. All right, and now I can tell you this, you'll be shouting it the rest of the time now at your house. As you think to yourself, well, let's get Mex to go ahead and send Mike those bits, so he's got to put them in there and make him do more fucking work. Isn't that funny to go ahead and torture Mike and torment him and make him learn more stuff? Nobody wants to learn more stuff. I'm 50. I'm having enough trouble breathing and staying upright at this point. Like I said, I got 25 years. I'm on the back 25. I don't want to learn anything new. I don't want to meet anybody. You know, it's funny. I watch the World Series. I see those guys doing those complex handshakes, and I'm like, I couldn't even dream of it. Like, I mean, maybe at that age I could have pulled that stuff off. Although I'll tell you this, I remember the handshake my brother and I invented when I was a kid. When we were I was like 11. Lenny and I invented a handshake. Fighting off yawns. Lenny and I invented a handshake, and I can still do it. I can do it with you. I can do it with him. I literally look at me without another arm doing the actual handshake. I'm pantomiming, folks. In case anybody walks by my window at my apartment and they go, oh, hey, that's Mike Schmidt's, that's his fucking handshake from 39 years ago. Of course it is. You guys can pick that out. That's 4 years before I met David. And he started on his long, tormenting trail to tell me to get good luck and find somebody else to handle this nonsense. He's going to be like, yeah, I can't believe you fucking... Actually, bullshit. He knows me well enough to know that I gravitated to that remark and I will never forget it. It'll just lurk and pinball around my fucking skull for a while. And eventually I'll let it go, right? Just like I let a lot of things go. Like you guys are out there, you're like, oh, Mike, let it go. And you're all like frozen. Let it go. Let it go. How cool is The Rock, by the way? I follow him on Instagram and I sit there and I stare and I'm like, I couldn't even... You know, I think I'm good at what I do, except for this week disproving all of that. But I think to myself, you know, I'm a decent broadcaster. I can hold it down. I can talk. I'm funny. I have a modicum of talent. And then you see The Rock and you're like, I can't approach that dude. He dropped another hint today about running for president, which I hope he isn't fucking doing, because the only reason I'd want to see him do it is because I want to see anybody try to come up with a reason not to like him, because you can't dislike him. He's a charisma vacuum. Like when he walks in a room, I can't imagine anybody else ever wanting anything to do with anybody else in the room except The Rock. They all want to just run over to Dwayne Johnson and fucking talk to him. Watch his Instagram. He's fucking lifting weights. He's putting out goddamn inspirational stories about Snickers bars. He's fucking today he met 3 Make-A-Wish kids. And get this, slapped them all Three Stooges style. Just... Because you got to let these kids know they're included. It doesn't matter if they're on their way out. You got to let them go ahead and realize what life is really like when you're around. Sometimes you meet your hero. Sometimes your hero slaps you in the face like you're Mo, Larry, and goddamn Curly. He lets you fucking have it with a big right hand. A big fucking Dwayne Johnson right hand. No, the guy has a fucking Make-A-Wish deal where like he meets these people. A couple of months ago, there was a kid who almost drowned and his brother saved him, and he said he learned it by watching The Rock in San Andreas. Remember that fucking horrible movie? That wasn't horrible. You know why it wasn't horrible? Because the fucking Rock was in it. Like, literally, he does nothing wrong. Any movie he's in, I can tolerate it just because you know he's going to be on screen eventually. They could surround him with fucking monstrous chipmunks or evil fucking mice, and I would just go, yep, waiting for The Rock here. I would watch mice do Hamlet if you guaranteed me that at some point The Rock was Iago. I mean, I'd be all over it. Do not look that up. I'm not sure if Iago is in Hamlet at the speed of my head. How about this? I would watch cockroaches perform A Midsummer Night's Dream if you guaranteed me that The Rock would show up as Nick Bottom the Weaver. How about that? That one I know for sure is a thing, because in high school I was almost Nick Bottom the Weaver in Midsummer Night's Dream. Go rent your fucking 2 when I was good at this fucking thing. When I knew what I was doing, when I had a producer, when I could just fucking kick back and do a show and not think to myself about what the fuck was going to happen and how I had to bust balls and punch buttons and make this be good and turn this around and go ahead and hit stop and elevate my voice and look at red levels and fucking blue lines. Jesus, nobody cares about red levels and blue lines anymore. Just like nobody cares about Spitty and fucking Jangly. Is that what I had in my throat? Spitty and Jangly? As I try to remember that from fucking 18 minutes ago. I think that might be long, 18 minutes. God, the show's only, oh my God, I've only done 21 minutes. Oh, dudes, I'm ready to fucking jump off a goddamn bridge. It's Halloween. I'm actually, you know who I'm going as this week? A competent podcaster. Not a good costume. Not able to fill it out. So yeah, with me telling you it's Halloween, you realize that it's a fucking Tuesday afternoon. Of course, you're going ahead and figuring all that stuff out, trying to figure out. I know you're doing a lot of detective work, trying to see if I'm here or there or what I'm doing. You know what? You're thinking to yourself, well, what's Mike's costume? Is he a podcaster or is he a producer? Well, sometime during the show I'm a podcaster, and sometime during the show I'm a producer. Like right now, I'm a podcaster. However, seconds from now,
So Shit Brigade's a musical now?
Yes.
Okay, and what part does the song come in?
It's the love theme from Shit Brigade. It's the song that Murph the Shit Eater sings to Miss Abigail Turtlehead when Shit Mountain collapses. Before Shit Brigade arrives and the mountain collapses, he sings this song to her.
Okay.
Okay. It goes like this. Ready? Miss Abigail Turtlehead, Miss Abigail Turtlehead. Right.
That's the guitar piece from Brokeback Mountain.
It is?
That is clearly the guitar piece from Brokeback Mountain.
Shit.
I will be a producer. And I will have to put that thing you just heard in, and then I'll do this, which makes me a podcaster again. I was a producer seconds ago. I'm a podcaster now. And I'm not real good at either job this week. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what the fuck is happening to me. Look, I'm slowing down, first of all, because I listened back, and some of the stuff that I talked about, I'm talking really quickly. Even spitty and jangly, I wind up talking very fast. And I like to talk fast, normally. But I'm not saying anything. Certainly not this week. And look, there are plenty of weeks where I'm talking a lot, and I'm talking quickly, and I'm not saying anything. I think we can argue that would be every week, maybe. You figure 10 years of this, I have those moments where I'm just fucking spinning around, spinning me around, spinning in the headlights. I don't know why is that song stuck in my head. I don't know why. So I'm slow. I'm making a conscious effort here to slow down, and apparently to make a disgusting spit smacking sound with my lips and my mouth, because spitty and jangly are still lurking, and I don't like it. But this show blows, right? Can we agree with that? This show fucking sucks, and I got nobody here like to tell me or help me out or just bail me out. Nobody hands me a hand up. I recognize that the show is different because I'm alone, and it's here it comes, folks. When I'm alone, you know what happens? I do this thing where I take a long, hard look at myself. And you fucking hate it. And I don't blame you. Because who the fuck wants to hear me bitch? And I just bitched in the beginning of this goddamn show. And I also need to straighten something out. I feel like I may have made it sound like David called me and he's like, "Where are my bits? Why aren't you putting them in?" That's not the case. We certainly had a fight on the phone, and it didn't go well. It was a lot of shouting. And by me, not him. He's got a family. But I'm like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck?" But he's just looking out for the best of this. You know what I mean? He's like, "Hey, dude," and I get it because he knows who I am as a guy. He's been around 35 years. And also he sees that this show is a commodity and there are people who love it like yourselves. And I love it. But recently it's become a thing where I kind of make it into a larger task. I make it, it's a good word. I make it a task rather than going, "Man, I can't wait to do my fucking show." And because I love doing the show. Yawning. Fuck. That helps nobody. God damn it. But but you guys don't want to hear me fucking whining, I would imagine. And that's what this show is. And this is a bad episode. Like, I don't even know if I want to make this a fucking episode. Like, I was calling this is supposed to be episode 20 of year 10, but it doesn't count. And look, I know the episodes are free, but still, I got to name this something else. This has just got to be some other tap out or something. Because it's Halloween, man. You would think that I would have had something, but I got nothing. I got dudes. Look, my life has slowed the fuck down. I have nothing to talk about. Now, I had a story I was going to tell you. And see, there's nothing worse than telling you that I had a story I was going to tell you, and then I can't tell you the story. But I will tell you what. Here's my promise to you guys. Fuck, idiot. I will tell you this story next week. I cannot tell the story this week for reasons that when I tell it next week, I will then explain, and you will understand, and everything will be happy, and we'll all be fine. But in the meantime, you've got me talking in circles about fucking nothing. Literally just being upset and sitting in a house and bitching and rededicating myself, because, tomorrow's the 1st. And as you know, I like to take the 1st and go, you know what? Things are going to be different. I'm going to change now, man. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that everything goes great. Let's reboot our lives on the 1st. And that's what I usually like to do. Except the problem is this time the 1st is on a Wednesday tomorrow? Yeah, the 1st is on a Wednesday. That's no good. I need the 1st to dovetail into a Monday. I need to start a week and a month at the same time. That's the good stuff. That's when you're really rebooting your life. See, and because all I want to do right now is take mental stock of who I am and where I'm at. And you don't want to hear that inventory. Nobody wants to hear that, at least not yet, because it's a bad inventory at this point. It's all spitty and fucking jangly, and nobody wants to hear me sit back and go, "Yeah, this is the thing." So now I wind up, like I said, I do the show, which this isn't even a fucking show, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't blame you motherfuckers if you write me furious and you're like, why did you even put that out? I put it out because I have to. I'm putting this out. Like, I'd love to retake this and do it again, but it's not like I think that I would be able to do anything different. It's not like I would be able to go, you know what? Here we go. This is the good stuff. And there's plenty of stuff I got to talk about. There's stuff. Ahmad was here in California, and I didn't talk about all the stuff that he and I did. There's still stuff I haven't told you from fucking Kuwait. I got videos. I got photos. It was funny when I was having dinner with I don't know if it was Justin or Lou, one of these fine people that I had dinner with last week. You know how I am. I'm meeting listeners to and fro, Willie and Nilly. There was actually a listener in town who didn't even fucking did I mention Ashley came to town, and then and she was like, how close are you? I can't. Maybe I'll see you, and then nothing. And actually wrote me a couple of times saying, hey, I'm in Universal Studios. This is totally fun. And I'm like, aw. But not really. But also she was with a friend of hers, and that's always the awkward part. Like if someone's alone, you can go, hey. I'll have lunch with you. But if someone's got a friend with them and you got to go, hey, this is weird guy from the internet who does a show that isn't funny one day a month or 1 week a month or 1 week a year. I don't want to say 1 week a month. That would suck. One episode, look, there's a clunker every year. There's some sort of fucking misfire, some one show where I just spend the whole time stepping on my dick and rebooting everything and telling you, hey, this is going to be, we're going to look forward. Because, like I said, I'd love to sit here and take stock of things. And I'd love to sit here and go, well, here's where, this is let's have the fucking, I don't want to say the Bill of Rights. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? The State of the Union. There you go. I guess I could have a Bill of Rights. Well, I'm just a Bill. Certainly, I'm only a Bill. And I'm sitting here on Schmitty-Will Hill. Schmitty-Hill. Fuck. This show just gets worse. Like, literally, it could not be worse. There's really only one thing saving the show, and I think we all know what that is.
Henry!
Hey, hello.
I am Mike. We have met. Dave is not here. He is busy working on the soundtrack. Have a seat.
All right.
This is, it's going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'll just come right out and tell you. You've done terrific work for us as Nick the Pooh, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to let you go.
What for?
To be honest, it's the business. It's, again, nothing to do with you. Channing Tatum has expressed interest in being Nick the Pooh, and so we're going to go in that direction. You get a chance for Channing Tatum to join the Shit Brigade. You can't pass it up.
But I'm Cockney.
Understood. Channing Tatum is an actor, though, and he's going to pick it up. Now, look, you've been part of the Shit Brigade family. We love you, and we don't want you to leave the warm embrace of the Shit Brigade family, so we're thinking about offering you another part if you're interested.
Can I be Fecal Freddy?
Unfortunately, Shia LaBeouf is Fecal Freddy, so it's nice of you to think that. However, we did have another thing in mind for you.
Oh, I'm not going to be a shit slipper, am I?
No, come on. You're too talented to be a shit slipper. That's not happening. Shit slipper 1, 2, or 3. You're better than all of them combined. However, with your Cockney accent, your unique talents, we really wanted to offer you the role of Sir Winston Bloodfart.
Ooh.
Let me ask you something. Considering what we're all wading through here, what kind of a mess this fucking show's become, what kind of a fucking child's wading pool full of urine-stained water from the toddlers in your neighborhood this show has become as you flounder in it, and we all just get filthy and dirty, and we realize that there's no reason for us to be involved in this activity. There's so many other podcasts out there we could be listening to right now. It is Thursday. All the good ones come out on Thursday. I used to be one of those, but now this week, I'm a good podcaster. I'm good at what I do. I'm not a very good producer, and I'm finding myself to be kind of adrift when I'm alone, and but that's fine. And see, last week I had a Justin, and I rampaged downhill. I was like, yeah, that was totally fun. But then again, like I said, I only heard from one of you or two of you to say, hey, good show, and so then I wind up, goddamn, how bad is the show? Like now, honestly, I want to see how much worse I can get. Like I want to do more of nothing, and just this is like the oral equivalent of a fucking dentist's visit. That's a bad thing to say. Aural, Aural, not oral. This is an aural equivalent of a fucking trip to the dentist. I'm not even cleaning your fucking teeth. I'm just straight drilling you. You're getting caps. Just sit the fuck down. I'm gonna, there's a root canal. That's what it is. I'm gonna give you fucking 3 root canals in whatever time period you'll allow me. I almost want to see if I can set a record for how bad a show I can do. Honestly, I think I already have, because all I want to do is tear myself apart, and I don't want you guys to listen to that. And I don't want to talk about the world because I hate the fucking world right now and the way things are happening. And so I keep saying to myself, well, avoid politics or well, avoid this kind of thing and avoid, these. I don't know if I think I mentioned on last week's show. There's a comedian that was on 2020, and he did I even mention it? I might have mentioned it a half hour ago. Holy fuck, dude! I don't know anything. This is the worst show ever. But there was a show one time when David Letterman, he said, it's way too hot to do a regular show. So he went into his office. They didn't even have a studio audience or anything, and they did a show directly from the audience, or from the offices. And Dave threw pencils into the ceiling. Paul Schaefer had a Casio. The whole band was there playing nothing, like just acoustically. They made Terry Gard take a shower. See, he made it work because he had a whole staff and everything was fantastic. Now this is the equivalent of that. This is just this show's just a pulled pin hand grenade. Like I've pulled the pin, I'm holding it, I'm waiting to just fucking blow it the fuck up as you sit here and you listen to me fucking talk about nothing. What a mess. Why are you even still here? Turn me off. Go away. Although I'm sure you're probably waiting to hear the end of the saga of Shit Brigade. If it comes, you may never hear the end. It may not exist. What if it's just this fucking 18-part thing? And you're like, oh my God, Shit Brigade, I can't believe it lasts this long. But is there a more appropriate bit to feature on this week's show than Shit Brigade? I might even name the show fucking Shit Brigade. Just because what a fucking grim mess. And look, you're tired of it. I know you don't, but part of me is like gleefully putting you through this, even though I'm not really. I'm not happy about it. I gotta throw something in here to save this, right? I mean, other than Shit Brigade, which is of course dominating the airwaves and sweeping the nation. That is something that everybody's wanted to hear. That is a bit that because this whole show is just a big fucking. It's like chocolate chip pancakes, but I'm the pancakes and Mex is the chocolate chips this week anyway. And I've included as many chocolate chips as I possibly can just to save this fucking thing, just to keep you guys from fucking murdering me. All right. What was I talking about? Oh, fucking comedian, idiot. This dude who did 2020, I thought I talked about it earlier today or last week or whatever. But there's a guy I know, like I met. And I'm going to tell this. Fuck it, I'm going to tell this story. I don't give a fuck. What do I know? I don't know this fucking guy anything. I believe women. I hired this comic, and I said, hey, dude, I'm not going to say his name, of course, because I don't want to be that fucking jagoff. Because I don't want the fucking fight, and I don't want the hassle. I just don't. But this is a true story. And you can look, you know what, we did 2020 for a year, and you can look at all the people that I booked and say to yourself, I wonder if it's that guy. Go ahead and do some fucking homework. But I asked this dude, I said, hey, because I found out who he was, and I said, you want to do the show? He said, yes. And then I said, would you have an idea of somebody you would want to work with? Because I said, I prefer working with, I want to have a woman on the show. Because I always preferred I would hire a man and a woman, because I wanted to have a woman on every single show. It just made sense to me to do that. And like I've said on here before, there's plenty of talented women out here who are able and willing and totally funny and would kill for the chance to do 30 minutes. Certainly there are a couple who canceled on me as well, who decided the day of that it wasn't worth the chance to do 30 minutes, but I won't say their names, will I? I won't, because look, I've burned enough bridges by putting out the shittiest show in the history of podcasting. This is like, because there are podcasts for everything. There's guys out there who, they just want to debate kiss makeup. There's guys out there who talk about music. There's guys who talk about politics. There's all sorts of fucking, and then there's just schmoes in a fucking garage somewhere in like Minnesota who are mispronouncing their A's and fucking everything up. And then you got me, a guy who's got talent, a guy who actually is following. He's got people who actually follow along and dig the show. And what happens? I subject you guys to this. I throw this fucking Baby Ruth in your swimming pool and have Bill Murray take a bite out of it. What a goddamn mess. See, but that's what happens when there's nobody else for me to attack. I must attack me. I'm learning about myself. Look at us. I'm going to lay on the couch and we're going to tell each other these ghost stories about one another. Hold on. Can you hear that fucking plane that's about to crash into my house? That's fucking loud. Is that a helicopter or a plane? It seems close, right? God, I hope you can hear it, because if you can't, then this whole thing's wasted. But hey, it fits right in with the rest of the goddamn content this week. What a goddamn thrill ride. This is like a fucking roller coaster that goes straight. There is nothing in this other than Shit Brigade. With the liberal sprinklings of Shit Brigade have kept this from being a complete death. But there's no way this can be episode 20. I got to think of a different fucking name for it. I'm going to just call it episode SB. Episode SB, and then just call it Shit Brigade. There you go. That's what the name of the show is going to be, because this does not count against your monthly subscription, folks, or your yearly subscription. This will not. Hold on.
I'm yawning just like you're yawning. This will not count against your subscription. I apologize. Nobody pays for this show this week. It's on free. It's free. You know, like I did a show, and I had a show like this a month ago. It was like discount mic for everybody because I'm still learning how to do these fucking shows by myself. I'm not learning. I mean, I fucking do them. I just hate them. I mean, I don't hate them. Hate seems strong. But it's just better when there's a fucking audience so I can pretend that I'm goddamn funny and it allows me to spin off and think of fucking things to talk about instead of just fucking talking in circles about how much I hate myself. You know, because if somebody else is here, I can say how much I hate them, right? Isn't that what you're looking for? You want me to go ahead and tear apart some fucking person here? Yeah. So I hired this dude to come and work at 2020, and I'm like, hey, do you know of anybody? I prefer a woman. And he's like, oh my God, yes, absolutely. And he didn't say, oh my God, he's not a teenage girl, but he said, yes, here's this name. And he gave me a person's name. So I wound up booking this woman. And this woman comes out to the old club, and they come out to the show. And I think I told you this many times. I would do a show at 2020, and you know, if I knew people, it was great. I had fun with like the Sharon Hustons and the Mike Siegels of the world, people who were my friends. But then there were these. I had to start booking comics that I did not know. And like I said, most of them were cool, but the thing is, they're comedians, and they got no time to hang out with a 50-year-old man. They're all young and hustling and trying to get sets all over town, which is fantastic. But I would want to sit and talk comedy, or I want to fucking go, you know, at least gauge their interest in how they felt. You know, I want to hear how they felt about me. Am I okay? Was I funny? But you don't ask like that. You just talk, and if they offer you, hey, I got a gig, or whatever the fuck. I wanted to talk shop is what I wanted to do. And I talked before about that time me, Brady Posey, and Andy Wood wound up on the fucking street with Gina Cognata, and we're out there talking all fucking Cognata or Cognata? Cognata! Haganaga! Hi, Paul Gleason. Paul Gleason? Yeah, Paul Winfield, Black Terminator. Paul Gleason, Clarence Beeks. Yes? All right. Othello. Fuck! Right? Iago is Othello. Didn't I say earlier about Hamlet? I said Iago. It's not Hamlet. It's Othello. And how weird is it that I would screw that up? Because I think Othello's a black dude. And I was like talking about how I would want The Rock. The Rock could be a totally good Iago and Othello. As long as there's Make-A-Wish kids in it. That's it. You know what? I said I would have angry mice performing it there. I would have Make-A-Wish kids performing Othello as long as The Rock was Iago. How about that? We'll talk about that. We don't really talk about it. That's one thought. There's no reason to explore that any further, because then if you do, you're just going to be hurtful to Make-A-Wish people. What if your wish was to do Othello with The Rock? Man, oh man, that's a very specific wish. Meeting the guy is one thing, and feasting your eyes on his tattoo and eating a bunch of free chocolate on his movie set and going, damn, I love The Rock. But saying that you actually wanted to go ahead and do Othello with him, he would probably fucking do it. That's the kind of dude he is. He would sit down, he would learn the part of Iago just to do the goddamn movie with you, or the play. Just like a school play, just like for your high school. Just I want The Rock to come to my high school, and I want to be Iago in Othello with him. And The Rock would fucking do it. He would show up. He would bring his angry mice that we talked about in another fucking episode. Or another segment of this before 40 shit brigades ago. 4 score and 40 shit brigades ago. So this guy, he tells this woman to come, and she's going to work the club, and I'm excited, so they show up, and they do their sets. And I will say this is totally true. Well, all right, I should preface this by saying I saw just this week that this dude was, he put on Facebook that he had been charged, like someone had said he was a rapist. And he had lost a gig because of it. And he wrote this long thing about, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm absolutely not a rapist. And there's always that fucking negotiation where the guy goes, certainly I may have told some off-color jokes and I may have flirted when I was single, but I'm a married man now. And obviously that stuff never happens. Like, getting married is your cudgel. That's your shield. Hey, look, I got a one girl who said yes. Who cares if I badgered a million other girls who said no? So this dude put this on Facebook, and then of course all of his friends come in and they're like, dude, I feel terrible for you, man. You should get a lawyer and sue this girl because she's like totally ruining your lifestyle. And it turns out it wasn't a girl, it was a guy who had reached out to the club where this guy was working and said, hey, I don't know why you're booking a rapist. And the guy did it over Twitter. Now I know, look, by not giving you names, this is an incomplete anecdote and story. But it's not my story to tell. I was not involved in this. I will tangentially tell you how I'm connected and why this matters in a second. But when I see him post that on Facebook and I realize it turns out there's a guy, and the guy who reported him and called him a rapist was a legitimate source. Okay, it wasn't like just some fluky
open mic dude who was screaming or trying to get him in trouble. It was a guy, and legitimacy certainly has different levels, but this dude works he works, oh fuck, I'll just say it, he works on Lucifer, because you can do all the homework and look the shit up if you want. But he was a guy who writes on the show Lucifer. He's actually a working writer, and he's working in the industry, and he was the one who outed this dude as a rapist to this bar, and the bar said, well, we can't have this guy fucking come in here. And so I learned of it all on his Facebook page, because he detailed all this, and he's like, I wrote a DM to the guy, and he won't answer me. I don't understand what's going on. I'm not a rapist. Like I said, I told some flirty off-color jokes, but whatever the fuck. All of his excuses in 3 paragraphs. And I read it, and I was like, I had an interaction with this dude at one point. Like I said, all of his friends are just going, oh, come on, dude, whatever. You got to sue this chick or whatever you got to do because she's trying to hurt your career. This is definitely a statute in California. Everybody's a fucking medical expert, too, by the way, or a legal expert when anything like that happens. Dude, you totally got to get a lawyer, man, because by them putting this out there, they're hurting your commerce. Shut the fuck up. You don't know a fucking thing. I got news for you. This guy's hand still smells like her panties. I mean, I don't think you should be telling him to fucking call a lawyer. So he posts this on his page, and I see it, and I read it, and then it dawns on me. I'm like, fuck, I know this guy. Fuck, he worked with me. Fuck, wait a minute. I asked him to refer a girl. Fuck, hold on a second. Now we flash back. This is why it's relevant. When he worked in the club, he brought in this woman. She middled, and he closed. I had her middle, and he closed. And then afterwards, they went and sat in a dark booth together. And he was sitting next to her, and and they were like really close in this dark booth, and they're going stuff over. Now again, he did a bunch of bits about being married, and she had done a bunch of bits about being like single or dating a guy, whatever the fuck. But he was clearly married, wearing a ring. But he was sitting next to this woman, and it was he had come in. So I should say this: when I asked him, he said that she was really funny, and I said, oh, okay. And he goes, plus I'm mentoring her. Now, I don't know what the fuck that means. Comedy's changed. Maybe people have mentors now. Maybe she's Shazam. I have no idea. Maybe he was the fucking old dude and she was Shazam, and he was or she was Billy Batson, whatever the fuck. But he specifically told me he was mentoring this girl. So then the sets end, and music's playing, and he goes and he sits in a dark booth with her, and they're going over her notebook. So I walk over and I go, hey, it was great to meet you guys. Thanks for doing this. Nice job, both of you. And we talk. And I kind of sit down, and they just ignore me. And I said, are you guys writing together? And she says, oh, no, he's mentoring me. So what we do is, he comes here, he sees me, and he takes notes, and he goes through my bits line by line, and we see how the act went and how it worked and what didn't work and what I did wrong. And immediately in my head, I went, this is the creepiest fucking thing I've ever heard of. Like, I mean, you're a married dude and you're mentoring a young comedian, and that's not even a word, comedian, a woman comedian. And if she wants to help, that's fine, good for her. But it just struck me as odd. So I again said some pleasantries, and I walk away from the booth, and I go over to Lily, and I said, we made some small talk, and then I go, he's mentoring her. And she goes, well, you told me that when they got booked. I go, yeah, but I didn't know what it meant. I go, he's really like going through her book and saying things. She goes, I got news for you. That guy's pretty rapey. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I just could tell from his act and the way he acted when he came in and the way he talked and the way he interacted. That's a rapey dude. And I'm a dude. I got a fucking crank. So, I got no idea what rapey dude means. I know what creepy means, or a creepy dude. And I saw creepy all over what was going on in the booth as he's sitting, like, basically on her lap, telling her what jokes worked and what didn't. It was very Svengali type of arrangement. But Lily said to me, she goes, this guy, yeah, he's rapey. And I said, oh, all right. And I never even, I put it out of mind. I didn't fucking think about it until now, flash forward, whatever, 8 months, 10 months, however fucking long it's been. And I see this post on Facebook, and I'm sitting in my house, and I'm like, holy fuck, wait a minute. And I texted Lily, I'm like, you around? So I called her up, and I go, hey, did you hear this thing about this guy? I almost said a name. Did you? And if he's charged, I got no issue saying the name. But right now, what's happening is it's a lot of discourse in the public circle, and so I'm not going to get caught up. Because again, if his friends or if his bros are right, and he can take me to court for fucking with his commerce, although I would want to be there for that testimony. Your Honor, this podcaster / producer maligned my client during the worst podcast he's ever produced that no one ever listened to. So I'll walk out of the court a free man. Thank you. You know what? That's the upside of doing a shitty fucking show. I'm not going to jail. Yeah, maybe this was a long con all along. Maybe you guys didn't realize that. I started this show with the total intent of telling you that anecdote and couching it within a nest of garbage so I wouldn't get in any trouble. Look at me. I'm fucking playing 3D chess with you motherfuckers. And you are checked and fucking mated. I got all your pawns. Look at your bishop and your rook. I just rooked you. I rooked your bishop. I bishoped your rook. And all your fucking horses need to be fed. That's me trash talking at chess. I should get good at chess just to be a trash talking jagoff at chess. How good would that be? Fuck you, Kasparov, you red fuck. Here comes my horse. He's totally gonna ride over you and gallop on your fucking rook. Oh, your rook just got fucking stomped by my horse. I know it's a knight, but I'll call him a horse. You know what? I'll have one knight and one horse. And then get a queen and a king, bunch of pawns, a couple of bishops, a couple of rooks. Now we got a party. Now we got a chess party. And there ain't no party like a chess party because a chess party don't stop until the queen is dead or the king's in check. And you surrender. Surrender. But I tell you this, please, don't give your king away. Randy gave me a signed Cheap Trick thing. It's on my wall. It's fucking awesome. All right, so this dude was outed as rapey by my good friend Lily months ago. Christ. So I call her up and I'm like, hey, did you hear about this dude? And she goes, yeah. She goes, I actually have a friend who's involved in, she says that he sexually assaulted her. I'm like, what? Because, it's not like Lily and I are chatting a lot these days. And when we do, sexual assault doesn't come up a whole bunch. Not like when she was not in the good old days when she was on the show. Oh, that was the best. We talked about it every goddamn week. But now, which might explain why she's not here. But she tells me that she has a friend who might have some sort of issue with this guy. And I said, really? I said, because I said, do you know this guy? And she goes, well, I have a friend who blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, do you know this guy? And she goes, what do you mean? I go, do you know if you've had any interaction with him? And she goes, I know the name, but I don't think I've had. And I go, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. I go, dude, this dude did 2020 last year. And you told me then he was rapey. She's like, oh my God, you're right. I said, yeah. I said, you told me then that was a rapey dude because he was mentoring this chick and he was taking her fucking, they were sitting together real close in the dark booth and he was married, but he was willing to mentor this young, and Lily's just like, holy God, you're right. You're right. And she goes, well, this is not the only girl. Like, I know that there are 3 girls right now with accusations about this guy. And like I said, there was that post on Facebook. So I went to read it and people kept coming in and saying, oh my gosh, this, that, and the other, and then I think word bled out to his accusers or supporters of them. And I think they may have commented on it, and he deleted it. Within, I think it was within an hour and a half, because he put it up there. He's like decrying the fact that this bar gave him the hook, and he was sad and mad, and again, like I said, it was this tidal wave of support. But then within an hour and a half, it was gone. And in my head, I'm like, well, maybe he took it down because it's just not a good look to have on your page. And Lily's like, well, no, maybe all the people who are accusing him have come forward, and the people with more proof. And I said, that makes sense. So this is, 2 fucking weeks ago I talked to her. No, a week ago, week and a half ago. I don't know. Yesterday? It happened just now. But I went today, Tuesday, Halloween, instead, and I went to look at the page, and I looked at his page, and it's gone, the post, like I said, but he has not posted anything since then. And then I went to his Instagram, there's nothing there. And then I went to his Twitter, and he's deleted his Twitter account entirely. And if I remember right, he had like 35,000 followers. I mean, this guy, he's a writer on a show that's like a big deal. He's done Conan. And you start whacking your social media, obviously what that means is, look, it's not a good look. All right, I don't want to say it makes you guilty, but I can tell you that it doesn't look good for you in the court of public opinion. Or in the court of shitty podcasts, in the court of the worst podcast ever created by this guy. But yeah, I was stunned because again, I had interaction with the dude, but again, it hit me where I dawned on me. I was like, fucking Lily said this dude was rapey, and goddamn, dude, I need to what a fucking mess. Like Kevin Spacey, I had to hear that stuff. And Dustin Hoffman, I just heard. I'm like, my God, what is happening? Now, Spacey, again, that doesn't surprise me. I told you, how many stories have I told you where I fucked my friend at breakfast, and then I didn't catch him, but he was making out with a really young-looking dude on Hollywood Boulevard. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I'm a little shocked that he tried to fucking cornhole a 14-year-old. That's not fucking good. And then his announcement afterwards, he's just like, yeah, by the way, I'm gay. And, I don't remember doing this, but if I did, it was not a good look for me. I mean, it's just these weird, I hate to use this fucking word, but privileged apologies that they think just gets them out of it. Even Dustin Hoffman said something like, I don't recall doing this, but if I made her uncomfortable, I regretted it. I'm sorry. All of them trying to get out ahead of this. And, Brett Ratner, the LA Times wrote an article on him that there were 6 women. And he jerked, dude. Listen, if you haven't heard what he did, I'm just going to fucking tell you. Olivia Munn, they ask Olivia Munn to take some food to fucking Brett Ratner's trailer. And she says, well, I'm not comfortable doing that. And they go, no, he's not in there. Don't even worry about it. So she walks into the trailer. She puts the food down. He comes around the corner in a robe. And I think she said he's holding a drink in one hand and he's jerking off with his other hand. And she sees him and she's like, oh my God. And before she can run or do anything, he just fucking shoots all over the place. He finishes. He jerks himself to completion. She said, because she said furiously masturbating, which I love just the thought of it. The fact that he was, I don't know if it means he was really going at it with his hand, or he just had the most intense mean look. Oh, fuck you, man. He was like the Ray Lewis of jerking off. He's just like, oh yeah, God damn it. I'm going to fucking tear off my cock. But she finally tells the story, and I'm like, and again, I've heard sleazy fucking bullshit about Brett Ratner and Bryan Singer and all these fucking dudes for years. It's always been floating around. Dan Schneider, the fucking idiot from Nickelodeon. They're going to take all these guys out, I hope. But then the worst part is then, like I said, Dustin Hoffman staggers in. You're like, oh, motherfucker, why? Spacey, why? God, And I'm not one of those dudes who's like, well, because I know people. I think even Lily is in this. I don't want to put words in her mouth. She's not here, but there are people who are like, I can't enjoy his work anymore. And look, perhaps it is the height of my whiteness or my privilegedness or my weight, whatever the fuck. But swimming with sharks is still swimming with sharks, and fucking Seven is still Seven. And, K-Pax is still garbage, but still, the other ones that I do like, I guess I can separate the art from the man, because, I mean, even when I was watching it, I loved it, and I had heard stories about him, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, Woody Allen and fucking Roman Polanski, I mean, Chinatown's fucking genius, but then he fucking raped a 13-year-old in the ass in a hot tub or whatever the fuck he did. I mean, these are terrible, terrible fucking things. And you just see them. They keep coming out more and more and more, and stuff's happening. And I'm like, Jesus, what the fuck? What are they going to do? What is the upshot of this? Asia Argento. I talked on here a couple of months ago about Asia Argento as a goof. I said I was like, I discovered something. I think she's having an affair with Anthony Bourdain, because Anthony Bourdain had this MMA girlfriend. All of a sudden, he's kind of like putting up pictures on Instagram that match her pictures. They seem to be in the same place a lot. And I broke it down, and I was a gossip head. I was just like, aha, I think Asia Argento and Anthony Bourdain are having an affair. Well, it turns out they're not having an affair. They're together. Bourdain broke up with his girlfriend. He's been with Asia Argento for a while. And now Asia Argento is one of these women who got caught up in this scandal because Harvey Weinstein fucking raped her. And now she's getting shit on in Italy by men and women alike who are saying you shouldn't have waited to come out, and, you should just keep it to yourself. And so she's literally traveled to France. She's doing anything she can to kind of outrun the people who are being fucking terrible to her, and also trying to outrun this memory that she's now unearthed that she feels terrible about. And I can't imagine every time she closes her eyes and tries to go to sleep, she has to deal with this or relitigate it or relive it in her fucking head. And I follow her, like I said, on Instagram because she's interesting. She makes interesting little tiny films, and she's just a unique individual. And I think she's got either they're her kids or they're the kids, they're her nieces and nephews, but they're always in videos running around doing goofy stuff, dancing, jumping on a bed. And it's good to see her have joy with them, because right now the rest of her life is this fucking hideous nightmare. She's trying all she wanted to do is come to grips with what had happened to her, and people are blaming her still. Rose McGowan, people are blaming her. And does Rose McGowan come off as kind of a fucking Norma Ray ring the bell fucking buzzcut nut job? Maybe. But it doesn't mean she's not telling the fucking truth. It doesn't mean that she wasn't violated in some fucking way. And I'll tell you what, maybe you become a buzzcut, Norma Ray, ring the bell fucking nut job when you've been raped and nobody believes you and you've not been able to do anything about it for fucking years and years and years. Who knows how that kind of shit manifests itself? You know, some women go out and they fucking crusade in the press and they try to destroy a guy finally to make him pay for the crimes that he committed. And some of us just do a podcast. And not a good one to boot. Hey, wait. Oh my God. Do you see that? Who's that coming over the hill?
Sir Basil Wilmington. Thank you for seeing us. My name is Mike. My partner Mex is off working on the love theme from Shit Brigade.
I am pleased to meet you.
In this scene, you are buried under Shit Mountain. It has just collapsed, and you need your Shit Brigade to bring their Shit Brigade tools to extricate you from your shit coffin.
So I'm covered in feces?
Almost a mile's worth of feces.
Am I alarmed?
Of course, you were shocked. You told everyone Shit Mountain would stand forever, and now you need your Shit Brigade more than ever.
I have prepared. I am ready.
Anytime.
Great Scott! No longer is around the corner where fudge is made. 'Tis time to call the Shit Brigade.
Good Lord, that was amazing.
I have more.
Really?
Yes. Darling Penelope, we are covered in colon butter.
I loved it. I mean, that's terrific stuff. Thank you, Sir Basil. You have more?
Yes, indeed. Are you ready?
Please.
By the Queen's corsage, it is a fudge dragon, mud monkey, chocolate grumpy, ass cracker doby, a sphincter mouse, gangster dump, Buckingham shitlog, Schitzkrieg, a limey loaf, pinched one Churchill, a double-decker is rolling through Shittadilly Circus. Thank you.
God.
Thank you.
Sir Basil Wilmington, you are our Captain Isaac Scat.
You're goddamn right it was the Shit Brigade. The final visit from the Shit Brigade, and we did 5 of them. I think that was more than enough, especially because I wasn't going to do one. But then we pitched it and we started talking about it, and I was like, you know what, this is actually, because the first goof was we did a pitch on it, and then we decided, well, let's make this a running bit, and we laughed and laughed uproariously doing Shit Brigade, because I'm not a guy who does anything with the title of Shit Brigade. I don't think shit is funny. I don't like scat. I don't like a fecal matter. But I'll tell you this, you know what I do like? I like Thanksgiving. I don't even know why I said that. I like Halloween is what I meant to say. And I have to tell you this fucking story. I just, I stopped there because I was going to do a production thing. But then I stopped and I got up and I got some water here. Listen, there's my water. You don't care. Why would I have to prove water? Literally, I'm not even joking. In my head, I had to prove to you that I got water. What a fucking weird ass. All right. And I took a lap. I hit the head, and there was a knock on my front door, and I opened the door, and guess who's at my door, folks? Guess who's rapping on my chamber door? Guess who's knocking 3 times on the ceiling if they want me? Guess who's out there giving me the old knock knock, who's there? Spider-Man. That's who it was. It was Spider-Man was out there. We don't get, I should tell you, I've talked about it in past shows. We don't get trick-or-treaters here at my apartment complex. They actually put up signs that say it's not appropriate or don't let trick-or-treaters in the gate, which, because I bought candy the first 5 years, when Karen was here and stuff. We loved it. We wanted kids to come over. I would love to have something like that happen. But at the same time, there's part of me that's like, well, that could be, a pain in the ass, and it allows me to be able to go out and do things if I want to go out and do stuff. But I guess I could go out and do stuff anyway. I'm not a prisoner. I'm not chained to the fucking... I'm not a number. I'm a free man. Who are you? The new number 2. Who is number 1? I am not a number. I am a free... You are number 6. All right, so... but there's a knock on the door, and it's Spider-Man. Now, Spider-Man lives in the building. All right, we don't have kids living here, but in the interval from last Halloween to now, we've got a family, and when I say a family, it's a single mom and her boy, and he's probably 8, but I'll see him carrying his book bag or whatever, and sometimes if I go get the mail and he's out there, I'll just kind of smile at him or I'll give him a nod, because you never know what's going on in this complex, and I don't want to be that guy. All of a sudden, he's like, hey, that guy looked at me, and then I'm in fucking jail. But I'll say hi if he's with his mom, you know what I mean? Because they'll park the car sometimes at the same time I do, and it'll be hi. I'll hold the door for them and everything. And he's a good kid. He comes home from school. He's nice to his mom. And he's fucking Spider-Man. But the thing is, the problem
we don't have any candy here in my house. Like, I didn't anticipate trick-or-treaters because we're not supposed to have trick-or-treaters. So Spider-Man knocks on the door, and I'm taken unawares when I open the door because I'm also expecting a package, folks. I ordered something. And so I open the door, and sure enough, it's Spider-Man. And he's got his little Spider-Man suit on, and he's got a pillowcase, which is awesome because when I was a kid, I had a pillowcase as well. Fuck that plastic orange pumpkin. You're not going to get a lot of candy in that. And fuck a trick-or-treat bag because a kid could fucking tear it or steal it. Pillowcase is solid. So this he's got it going on. He knows exactly what to do. And he's got his pillowcase, and he's in his little Spider-Man suit, and he's with his mom. And he says, trick-or-treat. And I said, hey, Spider-Man. And he goes, trick or treat. And I said, happy Halloween, Spider-Man. And because it was appropriate that I had just done it on this fucking show, and it popped into my head, and I said, why not do it? And thankfully, he and his mom both laughed. And I'm glad they're in a good mood because I have to tell them I don't have any candy for Spider-Man. So they laugh. We all, happy Halloween, Spider-Man. And what I wish, honestly, if he would have gone, oh yeah, you hate this show now? Is that true? Because absolutely, yes, it would have been right. Because I hated this fucking show that I've done for you. This true shit brigade of a show. But they're laughing, and it kind of dies down. And in my head, I'm like, I don't have any candy. And then wait a minute, I go, you know what? Wait a minute. I don't have any like fun size candy, like Halloween candy. But it just so happens it's the last day of the month. And like I mentioned, folks, tomorrow is the 1st. I'm getting my life together. I'm getting everything squared away. I'm Patty LaBelle in the shit out of this thing. I'm going with a new attitude starting tomorrow. I'm sure I'll blog about it and tell you all about it in 8 months. But I have plans and ideas of what I want to do starting tomorrow. But because of that, I have, giant candy bars in my house right now to get me through the night. To fucking John Lennon and Yoko Ono the shit out of me here. I'm gonna LaBelle tomorrow, but I'm gonna Lennon today. Lennon today and LaBelle tomorrow. That's got to be the name of the show. Hold on, let me jot that down. That may have eclipsed Shit Brigade. Lennon today, LaBelle tomorrow. Can you actually hear me writing? Jesus God! All right. And you're gonna look down after I do all this, and you see it's still named SB Shit Brigade. So I realize I have giant candy bars in my house because, again, I'm going to Lennon today, whatever gets me through the night, and then LaBelle tomorrow with my new attitude. And in my head, I just go, you know what, dude, just fucking, there you go. That's it. I turn around, they're right there on the end table. So it dies down, and in my head, I go, we don't have any Halloween candy. And he goes, oh. And I think he'd been getting that a lot in the building because, it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. So, I think he probably went to some houses and he didn't get anything. I said, well, we don't have any Halloween candy. He's like, oh, okay. And the mom's like, okay, well, thank you. I said, well, no, hold on. We don't have any Halloween candy. And I turned around and I said, but that doesn't mean I don't have candy. And I pull out this fucking chocolate bar. And here's the best part. He looks at it with his Spider-Man mask tipped up over his forehead. And he just kind of stares at it like it's Jesus because it's fucking bigger than his head. I don't think he's ever seen a candy bar this large in his life. And his mom, she just goes, oh no, you don't have to. And I go, no, of course not. It's Halloween. Spider-Man likes candy. And he's like, I do. And she goes, yeah, but that's a lot of candy. Like, I can see her giving me this evil eye. She's so mad that I'm about to give this kid this gigantic fucking candy. But I didn't give a fuck. So he held up his fucking pillowcase. He's like totally beaming, chest out, like, And I fucking I did it on purpose. I dropped it from as high as I could. Flunk. And he falls forward, kind of. He's like, oh, because it's so heavy. And she looks at me with that kind of like, you're really cool to do that, but boy, do I fucking hate you right now look on her face. And I smile at her, and then he just looks at me and he goes, thank you! And he just starts giggling, and he pulls his Spider-Man mask down over his face. And they walk away. And I close the door. And I come back here to do more Shit Brigade for you guys. That's exactly what I wanted to do. And I got to get to the store and buy another candy bar because I can't get through the night with just 2 of them. I got to get a 3rd candy bar to get me through the night. I am a house, folks. I am a goddamn monster. But you know what? It all changes tomorrow. We got the shit show out of our fucking veins. We got everything on point for tomorrow, the 1st, to change our lives. That's what we're doing. And fuck, I can't just give you this. Where are we at here? Fucking hour. That's crazy.
Do I leave this as is, or do I tack a fucking show at the bottom? I should probably just tack a show at the bottom, just in case you hated this. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. Should I talk about should I do the plugs now, or fucking just throw that in? Jesus Christ, I don't even know. Fuck it. You know what? I'm going to put in an old show, and if it'll just be like an hour or whatever the fuck, an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half. 2 hours. I'm just putting in a 4-hour old show. Remember when I did those and they were great? And all 4 hours were interesting and engaging. And now this show, you got me talking about, it's so hard. Fuck you, man. Shut up. All right. You know what? Yeah, here's old me. And then I'll be back to, because should I do because you might tune out. You know what? I'm going to do my sponsors now. I owe it to my sponsors now. And on the back end, I'll talk some more. But right now, let's talk about our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll do the other stuff. I am so lost. See, you know what? I'm not even a good producer this week. I'm already gone as shitty podcaster. Now I'm also going as shitty producer. That's my costume. It's a dual costume. I'm like Two-Face. I got a fucking split right down the middle. Half of me is like a suit. Half of me is just, and neither of them can do their fucking job. GetTheButters.com is a sponsor of this show. It's our great friend Jerome. You know him. He's the best. He's got butters and balms and bombs and lubes and masks and scarves and loofahs and fucking chamois. Get a chamois from that dude. Get a chamois and shiny yourself up with it. Shiny yourself with a chamois. And rub it all over your face and your balls and everything else. And ladies, he's got the stuff for your delicate flowers, if you might want to call it that. Your vagina, I think is what it's called. Your Regina. If you're in Canada, it's a Regina. But here in America, it's a vagina. But he's got delicate products that'll take care of that part of your nether regions. But go to getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB. I don't even know why I'm telling you to use anything that would get me money for this week's fucking show. But why not? Getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB and get butters and balms and lubes and bombs and fill your bathtub and dive in. And tea bags. I think he's selling tea bags too. So take a tea bath. He'll get you in there. You get a whole thing of Earl Grey ring around the collar and have a great fucking time. Go to getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB and just be happy, right? That's all you got to do. Make yourself pampered. Get yourself something slimy and put it all over your fucking neck and take a hot bath with some eucalyptus. And he's got all that stuff on sale there. So go to getthebutters.com, use the code 40YOB, and I was going to say tell him Mike sent you, but using the code 40YOB pretty much takes care of the fact that Mike sent you. He knows that. He's the only one who knows it, as a matter of fact. Who else is our? I get the website. Oh, fuck, nobody wants to know about the. Oh, you know what? We do have another sponsor, and for weeks I've told you guys about this show, and I'm going to tell you again about The Paranoid Strain, which is a podcast that's available in iTunes right now. Go to iTunes and download The Paranoid Strain. I recommend you get all 4 episodes because they are connected together. And you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, Mike, did you finally listen?" Oh my God, of course I listened. For fuck's sake, because I texted Fearful Jesuit, who was the host of that show, and I'm like, "Look. I really like what you do. Please understand that, but I don't normally listen to podcasts." And he was very understanding and forgiving, and I'm appreciative of that. But he hung in there, which is nice. So I say go to iTunes and leave a review in the iTunes store. Send him a note that says, "Hey, I really like when you talk about Colvin Bundy or Dylan Bundy or whatever the fuck their names are. They're stupid names. I shouldn't even say them right in the first place." But this month's episode is episode 4, and it actually connects with episode 3. It picks up where the last one ended in the rubbish of the Oklahoma City bombing. And they talk about Oklahoma City. They talk about sovereign people. They talk to a guy from the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's pretty amazing stuff. But here's my favorite part, and it's going to be a spoiler alert, but I have to tell you about it. He's talking about people who believe in sovereign stuff, like the Bundys. The Bundys believe that only these fucking sheriffs, like the county sheriff, is posse comitatus. What it means is like the only authority is the county. There is no federal land. There is no federal. They believe that the county is the only authority in the world, in the country, and that the county sheriff he's the final line in the sand. Actually, they have a Rachel Maddow clip where she says that on the fucking show. And so these dumb fucks, they think they can talk themselves out of anything with some fucking bullshit. It all started, I guess, over grazing lands, and then they play clips of Dylan Bundy himself talking about Negroes. It's a fucking mess, but it's worth hearing just to hear how fucking crazy these idiots are. But here's my favorite part. There's a 10-minute fucking chunk. Okay, a 10-minute chunk of sovereign idiots just fucking up, just stepping on their dicks and pretending that they know the law of the country and trying to assert themselves in a fashion that just... it just makes them look so fucking dumb. And I know I'm going to get writings from people like, oh, well, cops are bad, whatever. There are bad cops, just like there's bad sovereign assholes. Anybody who's sovereign assholes is just that. They're a fucking dick. Listen to this 10-minute chunk of fucking 911 calls and recordings from inside a courtroom and police officers with their body cameras and these dudes trying to quote some law that, I'm not a man, I'm a human, and I don't have a name, but you can call me Robert. And this fucking dude in a car who's just like, I wasn't really driving, I was traveling. And I mean, just all these fucking... Everybody thinks that they can do this fucking verbal jujitsu and get out of everything, and you're just they're gonna baffle the cop. I get news for you. There's a reason a cop's carrying a gun and a fucking stick. If you act like a dickbag and you keep trying to fucking wizard him out with your bullshit, he's gonna fucking crack you in the skull. Do I appreciate that? No. Do I think you should? No. But when you hear these 10-minute clips in your brain, you're just kind of like, fuck. Yeah, you know what? Just wrap this dude in the fucking mouth. And I hate to be that meat-headed about it. That's the fucking goofy ass fucking Chicago dude in me coming out. And like I said, don't do dumb stuff. You don't want dumb stuff to happen to you. There's a dude in the courtroom and he's sparring with the judge. He won't give his name. He doesn't give a fucking license. He claims that he's not American. He was born in America, but he's a human, a citizen of the world. All this bullshit. And then he tries to go, he goes, I'm going to go talk to the prosecutor. Like in the middle of all of this, he just goes to leave. And the fucking guard is like, you're not getting in there. And he's like, no, man, get out of my way. I'm going to go. And the guard is like, look, I'm telling you to stand back. And he's like, nah, I'm going to go in there. You have to get out of my way. You have no authority here, and you can't do anything to me. And they go, look, cameras aren't allowed in there, man. You can't bring cameras in. The guy goes, well, I'm heading in there. It doesn't matter to me. And they go, look, you leave your camera with your mom if you want to. And they're doing everything they can to try to talk this motherfucker out of getting punched in the face or tackled or worse. But instead, because he thinks he's filming it and he believes this language shit is going to protect him, he just goes ahead and keeps trying it. And then he tries to push past the fucking cop. And the best part is you just hear him. He's just like, no, all right, you've now battered me. Now by putting your hands on me, you've battered me. And you hear a fucking taser. And the guy wipes the fuck out. He hits the ground. And as he's laying on the ground, he just goes, stop, please stop. I'm not doing anything. It's like, dude, you just spent fucking 6 minutes doing everything to get a taser in your ass. That's all you've been asking for. And look, again, I'm not for cops shooting people in the dark, and I don't want to see people getting beaten up or pulled over at fucking traffic stops and getting hassled. I hate it. I fucking hate it. But when you hear these dudes doing all their bullshit and this verbal gymnastics nonsense, and you just laugh because you're just like, let's put it this way. I don't condone it. Like, I don't want to see a guy get tasered or hit in the fucking, they break his window or any of that shit. But if you're not cooperating in this, because again, these are white dudes too. So it's like, I'm surprised they didn't just get the fucking, if it was a black dude, I mean, he knows better than to fucking do that with cops, because who knows what the fuck's going to happen. Unfortunately, a lot of black families teach their kids at a young age immediately keep your hands visible, like how to deal with police. But these white dudes with all their, again, I hate to use this fucking word, but all their privilege, they come sauntering in, and they're just like, well, no, I'm not really a human. I'm from Idaho. All this fucking sovereign, whatever. So the show's amazing. Because he keeps going back to this expert who's like, yeah, these guys are grifters. Like, they just stole millions of dollars in these small time fucking scams that they pulled on the American public, and it's really eye opening to hear because that's all it is. These motherfuckers are just grifters. That's all they are. Just like the grifter in the White House, these are grifters on farmlands, and everywhere is just trying to fucking get over. It's like if someone was to say to you, hey man, I'm going to put out a great comedy show, and it turned out to just be garbage. Wouldn't you feel betrayed by that sort of thing? I know I would. Someone should be here to fucking tase me, man. That'd be fucking great. All right, so there you go. Paranoid Strain is the show. Episode 4 is up now in the iTunes store. Go review it. Leave a review in the iTunes store, and also contact Fearful Jesuit, because they're always looking for people to call in and do a verbal drop or something like that, or maybe ask questions that they can put on the air. But also, he wants to hear from you, knowing that I have referred you to the show, and he'd like you to like it. He wants you to want him. He's very Robin Zander that way. However, if you can just contact him and say you've heard the show with me, that would be good, because it shows that we're doing our job. But also, man, love it. I mean, I think the show's very interesting, and it's, like I said, it's something I don't do and can't do. So to listen to it is a joy for me, because again, to hear something so well produced with a lot of dry humor and a lot of drops, a lot of voices, things like that, it's great. So go check out the Paranoid Strain. Download it right now from the iTunes store. Leave a review there, or contact Fearful Jesuit at least, and tell him that you were sent there by me. Go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and this is also a shit show right now. At MikeSchmidtComedy.com, you know we've got the stuff for sale, all sorts of different things. But we have the Amazon link. But I will tell you right now, it's dead. All right, the Amazon link right now has been out of commission for like 4 days. I've been writing back and forth with Amazon. And again, I feel I'm in the right here, but I'm just trying to get it fixed. I just want to get it back up and running because people are starting to write me and go, dude, what the fuck? But here's the deal. They sent out notes in July. They said, hey, man, eventually your affiliate store is going to be closing. And I think I've talked about it here on the show. They kept commenting on it. And they said, once your affiliate store closes, your link will it'll just go right to Amazon. So I didn't even fucking worry about it. I figured that would be fine. Well, now if you go to my website and you click on the Amazon link, it just says this website is unavailable. We're trying, and it's been like that for like 3-4 days. So I've written them emails and I said, hey, look, and they keep sending me this thing like, well, you should link it to this. And I go, well, okay, but how? Like how do I do that? I've had to write 4 different times to Angel and Caesar and whoever the fuck else is over there. So I think I'm close to solving this fucking mystery. Regardless, if you use the Amazon link, keep trying. That would be great because it helps out the fucking show. Right there at MikeSchmidtComedy.com on the Joe Business page, we got the Amazon link there waiting for you to click away and buy things and be happy. And I'd appreciate it. So would you. So would we. So also, if you want to be a Lyft driver, use my code Mike720057. That's MIKE720057. And be a Lyft driver and drive all over this universe and make me some money. You want to be an Uber? Oh, and by the way, Mike is all caps. MIKE720057. You want to be an Uber driver? Why wouldn't you want to be? Go to DJZW1YTTUE. Use that code DJZW1YTTUE. Become the Uber driver you've always wanted to be and get me some money in the process. So that's, like I said, getthebutters.com. Use the code 40YOB. Please remember again that I'm available. I'll just, you know what? Fuck this. The show's going to take us out. I'm just going to put the fucking show in. There's no reason to come back and talk to you guys. What am I going to do? Come back and plug what? Or go, hey, how was that show? I mean, it's just foolish. So I'll just tell you now, you guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can find me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. And that's great. Please do that. Will I tag the theme song on the end of this? Or should I just, fuck, who cares? I've already said it all. I'm on Instagram and Snapchat too. Mike40YOB is the fucking code there. Mike40YOB, 40YOB. At Instagram and Snapchat. Send me some Snapchats. Send me some Instagrams. Let me know how you're doing out there. Follow me and friend me and all those other things that you do on Snapchat and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Glide and every other app in the fucking world. But please find me there. And then I'm going to go find a show that's appropriate. And usually what I like to do is I go back and I look for a show that was around this time of year. So perhaps I'll look for a Halloween show. Perhaps I'll look for something in November because that's in a couple of days anyway. So what the fuck? Why not jump the gun? Let's get a jump of the gun on November here. But please accept my apologies for this. I know it sounds ridiculous. I think I picked it up late. I think I did okay once I fucking settled in here and I stopped bitching about myself. But, and holy fuck, we're at $1.20? Jesus. And now I'm going to throw another hour in here? That just seems foolish. But you know what? Why? Here's the thing. If I throw another hour in here that's funny, it counterbalances the hour you just fucking sat through. So yeah, I'm not even going away from that. All right, again, Uber, Lyft, website, Amazon. I'm not even going to plug Patreon because why the fuck would you give me a dime after this week's goddamn show? We'll make up to it next week. Next week I'll plug it all the fucking time. I'll just do a whole show about Patreon and tell you other fucking stories. So hey, settle in. And again, please understand that this was an anomaly. This was something that doesn't happen very often. But you know, it did happen very often in the past. I was really fucking funny. Check out old me.
Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. I have been sitting here trying to figure out what the hell we're going to talk about. Because here's the thing. I did this show already in my bed, and I was home this morning, and I was, I had to go to bed super early because I had to get. All right, folks, here's what happened. As we all know, I live in Graveyardville, and I'm upside down. So I was up all night, and then I got home around 6:30, and I was up till 7:30, futzing around doing some internet stuff that I had to do, and then I had an appointment to visit a lawyer today in the afternoon because I am suing Lily for non-support. No, I had to go to the lawyer for the incident that I cannot talk about, and so I had to make sure I got some sleep. So I went to bed, and I didn't really get a chance to think about the show, which I'll be honest with you, I don't really think about the show anyway, but for some reason today I was like, all right, here's the thing. I wasn't going to think about the show, but when I go to bed, the voices, folks. The voices arrive. You just sit there, and I'm sure you do this when you go to bed and you can't go to sleep. You start thinking about what's going to happen and what's coming. And so I started to do bits in my head, and basically it turns into this podcast because I ping pong all over the place. Because as you know, when I speak, it's at the speed of my head. So my head's hopping around, and I'm doing this, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. Wait a minute, this is actually kind of funny. And I started talking, and I'm like, I should get up and write this down and actually, think about this line of discussion or this point when I'm doing the show later. And I was so cozy under 4 blankets, folks. There was just no way I was getting up and doing that. It was not going to happen. So I've already done the open of the show, and I tell you, it was hilarious. I can tell you that. So please know that this morning, Wednesday morning, in my bedroom under 4 blankets, 4 amazing blankets, the devil blanket, and then another blanket's like a doily blanket, and then there's this blanket my brother Andy got me from Korea. Holy Christ! You ever see any movie from Vietnam or Korea, and they're laying, you go into their hut or whatever. What's it called? A git? What's their thing called? I don't know. There's like a special name for their hut. It's not a house. It's like it's not a teepee because those people aren't Native Americans. Are they? What if they were? The Vietnamese are Native American folks. That was it. That is the entire reason we went to war with them in the 60s, because we were trying to take their land just like we took the Indians' land. All right, so we didn't want their land. We just wanted them to stop being communists. Does anybody even know the point of Vietnam other than to make movies? I have no idea what the point of the Vietnam War was. I mean, I went to school and all that. I understand. And I guess they were, trying to stop the spread of communism. But honestly, strategically, what was the point? Other than to make fucking Hamburger Hill. I have no idea what it was. All right. So, by the way, I've just insulted all veterans everywhere. Look, I apologize, folks. I'm sure the veterans. Look, it's nothing against you guys. Actually, you know what? I'll endorse this now. Well, there was a website called Operation Gratitude. Is that what it's called? Operation Gratitude that I learned about, which you folks should check out. It's pretty neat. Although the commercial was a little hokey. I mean, it's it's got a guy and he's murdering Muslims or whatever he's doing. He's shooting people, which is fine. He's at war. He's supposed to be doing that. He's an American soldier. And then there's a voiceover, and it's like, and then they cut to a classroom. And this woman says, do you know what gratitude means? And this little girl raises her hand, and she's like, thankfulness. And they go, right. And then they cut back to the war, and this guy is, he's stringing ears on a necklace. I don't know what he's doing. He's committing atrocities in the name of our country. No, he's not. He's not doing any of that, folks, but it's funny to say. So so then they come back to the woman in the classroom, and they're having the children all write notes to soldiers. And they're saying, this is the best way to show your gratitude is to let them know you're happy about what they're doing for you. And which is, it's touching because they show the little kids writing and drawing pictures, and then they cut to the war. And this guy, of course, is shell-shocked. He's got Agent Orange in his hair, and he's all freaked out. He doesn't know what's going on. His head's on a swivel, waiting for an IED to go off. It's essentially the Hurt Locker mixed with Waiting for Superman. That's what it is. That's because the Iraq War is also making movies. So it's Waiting for Superman in a classroom, and then they wind up with your Hurt Locker. All right, so then this guy, there's a mail call, and he's a little grumpy because, again, he's been out all day murdering civilians. So he's putting his stuff into a Jeep. Fuck, I am just kidding. God damn it, this is so terrible because I have nothing but respect for people who go into the Army, into the Navy, into the Air Force, and the Marines. What a great place. It's a great place to start. But because I couldn't do it, I have no interest in it. Are you fucking kidding me? Please, I would make John Winger look like General Patton, for Christ's sake. I would be fucking murdered. I would get Niedermeyered, but not because I was too mean. It would just be like because I wasn't carrying my weight or anything. All I got is my mouth, so I'd have to be trying to talk the enemy into surrendering or not shooting me, and I'd have to talk guys in my platoon into carrying all my shit. Terrible, dude. The second I got swamp foot, that's it. I quit the war. I'm sorry. I go out into the middle of a rice paddy and I put my thumb up and pray to God a helicopter comes along with a ladder dangling so I can jump on it and go home and listen to the OJs or whatever the fuck all those guys did as Gump played ping pong and they nursed their wounds. All right. So I'm not a war guy is my point. So it's okay. I'm just teasing the war guys. So they show the mail call in this commercial, and this guy and he's very angry. Everybody else is getting mail, and he's again still a little shell shocked because they shoot an old woman in the face, and he might not have. I don't know. They didn't show that in the commercial. Should have. Would have made the following scenes a lot more poignant, quite frankly. But they're giving mail call and they're handing out letters to everybody, and then he says like Johnson, the mail call guy, and this guy turns around. He's still haunted. He's still hearing voices from the jungle, or I'm sorry, the desert, because they're in the desert now. I apologize. And he turns around and he's like, huh? And he throws Johnson like a giant box, and it's actually pretty hokey and corny. And the guy goes, "Somebody loves you." Oh Christ. We all love you, Johnson. We're all very happy that you're making the world safe from Muslims. It's fine. And not Muslims, radical Muslims. Again, I apologize to Muslims. I apologize to war people. I don't mean to be so wishy-washy and hokey, but it's like, because you know why? Because we just had an election in this country where lines were drawn in the sand between people who hate Muslims and people who think Muslims should be given free money. I mean, I don't know exactly. Look, I don't have a full grasp on the issues. I don't understand what I understand. All I know is apparently California is the only sane state in the union. Now, and yes, I apologize to you Tea Party listeners, whoever the fuck. I'm going to get all this email. I never talk about politics and I never talk about this kind of stuff because nobody wants to hear what a fucking goof like me thinks. Jesus Christ, I can barely put peanut butter on the bread for a sandwich. You don't need to hear who I'm endorsing in the fucking 48th district. Jesus God, is that going to affect anybody? If I come out and I endorse some dude, doesn't everybody just go, well, fuck, we can't vote for that idiot? That guy must be some kind of snake charmer or fucking ball juggler. We don't want to deal with that motherfucker. Jesus Christ. All right, so Johnson gets a package thrown at him. He grabs it, and I. By the way, this guy's been in country all day. The last thing you want to do is throw something at his head. What the fuck are you thinking, mail guy? Holy shit! Give Johnson a break. He's been out there hiding in the goddamn desert, trying to get blown up by a can of Folgers coffee, for Christ's sake. The whole time he's trying to stay alive, the guy comes back, he's taking off his bulletproof vest, he's putting it in a fucking thing, and you go, hey, Johnson, whoa, think fast. The last thing you should fucking ever say to a soldier is think fast. These guys are fried. Didn't you see Hurt Locker, you fuck? That dude in the grocery store looking at all the fucking selection of cereal around her, he's out of his fucking mind. If you looked at that guy and went think fast and throw a basketball at him, he'd fucking pull your trachea out. He'd fucking destroy you like Swayze did that dude he fought in the end of Roadhouse. God damn it. You'd wind up face down in a bog. Think fast, Johnson. You've been in country all day. Oh, that made me laugh. All right, so sure enough, Johnson turns around. He throws the fucking package at him. Johnson flinches because he's not sure if it's a Muslim bomb. He doesn't know what the fuck's coming at him. He grabs it, and he cuts it open, and the whole time solemn voiceover is, telling you about Operation Gratitude and soldiers and why we should love them. And he opens the box, and it's a bunch of cookies and candy, and it's a note from children. It's all the pictures they wrote them. And it says, "Dear soldier, thank you for protecting me and making me safe," and all that neat stuff. And the guy reads it, and he gets kind of a look on his face like he's kind of sad. And then his entire platoon comes over and starts eating the candy and the cookies. Like they just jam their hands in and start stealing all of his stuff. But it's not really all of his stuff. It's for everybody. Because again, if it would have been for Johnson, then the poor kid who drew the picture could have been bothered to put "Dear Lieutenant Johnson" instead of "Dear Soldier." But the bottom line is OperationGratitude.com. So I immediately saw it and I go, I got to do that. I got to send them some stuff. I got to send them some cool stuff. Although I can't draw. What do you want me to draw something? Jesus Christ! What am I going to write Johnson? I actually thought about sending them just like a gig, like a hard drive of music. Like I wonder if they could use that over there somehow. Like I was trying to think of things that would be different that an adult could give them. Because if I send him a fucking box of Tiger Eyes and a picture of an Easter egg, he's gonna be like, "You're 43 fucking years old. You couldn't send me a Wii magazine, you fuck." I mean, these guys want porn, right? Shouldn't they want some porn? I'll cleverly disguise it as a drawing of an Easter egg. You'll crack it open. Hello, how we doing there? Check out her Easter bunny. All right, so whatever. Go to OperationGratitude.com and take care of these guys because I plan on doing it. And I would have done it by now, except I saw it last night. So I'm sorry, folks. As I mentioned, all this morning was spent doing this show in the bed as I got prepared to see a fucking lawyer and have a fight with him. But I can't talk about it. Stop fucking asking. Folks, we had elections in this country, as we've mentioned, and I got to say, I am severely disappointed with the United States. Not with California so much. I think, although I will tell you this, I am very disappointed in California, and here's why, folks. I don't know if you know this. There was a referendum. There was an amendment, proposition, whatever the fuck they called it. I don't know, but it was on the ballot, and it was Prop 19 to legalize marijuana in California. And what it would be is then the government would be in charge of it, and they would be able to tax it and. Kind of something like that. I don't fuck. All I know is it was you'd be able to sell. You could grow your own dope, and you could sell dope in stores, and there would be like you know how you ever go to a casino and there's a cigarette girl and she's selling yo-yos. Did I ever tell that story on here? No. Oh shit! Please tell me I didn't. All right, Mex is gonna yell at me. All right, because here's the thing. Mex told me last week because last week I was telling some story about something. I don't even remember again, folks. Unfortunately, I haven't. Well, Mex is pissed at that. He's pissed that I didn't finish going out. All right, I'll just do that. Last week I was talking about the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers, okay? And Mex is like, you never said, you were starting to talk about how you watched them, and you never said what the verdict was on that. And I said, yeah, I did. I said that the Three Stooges would kick the shit out of the Marx Brothers. He goes, that doesn't answer any questions. So he's like he was mad at me, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So, but the bottom line is, I watched the Three Stooges. I was in my house. They were on a Saturday. It was like a 4-hour block of them on. And let's put it, I did not watch the entire 4-hour block because that just seems excessive, quite frankly. That seems like a 90-minute podcast. That's too much for anybody, isn't it? We have fallen. We have plummeted out of the iTunes Top 200, and the only thing I think of is its length of show. That's the only thing I blame it on that. I don't blame it on me or content. It has nothing to do with me being hilarious or non-hilarious or people hating me. No, it's the fact that the show's super long. I'm stupid. All right, so we gotta buckle down and bring in some shows under the around an hour. That's a convenient time for you folks, right? Although I say that, and like I said, all the time people write me and they're like, dude, I wish you would do a show every day that was an hour and a half. Well, first of all, I'd be dead. Literally, at the end of the week, I would look like the old woman from The Shining. I would just be like fucking this crazy husk, like sucked out of any life force. All right, so not gonna lie to you folks, I thought old lady from The Shining would get a laugh. It might have by you guys. But again, I have one person in the audience. So anyway, the bottom line, Three Stooges, I watched them, and you know what? They're fucking hilarious. They're still hilarious. They made me laugh. I watched a show. It was like. Curly made, and again, I told Mex, I go, you can't watch them literally. As a child, you watch them and they were just lunatics hitting each other with crowbars, and you're like, hilarious. But then when you get older, you actually pay attention to the plot a little bit, and you're like, the Three Stooges all got a job at a pharmacy. Like, how the fuck did they all get a job at the same pharmacy? I go to a pharmacy, they might have 2 people working, maybe. And I'm sure they didn't come in together as friends and brothers and apply and get the goddamn job. That never happened. But sure enough, Curly, Moe, and Larry, first of all, right, look, we're going to do this, goddammit. If you're watching Three Stooges, those guys can't go 5 seconds without punching each other in the face. How did they make it through the interview? How the hell did the Three Stooges make it through the interview to get that job? God damn it. Again, see, folks, you think literally, and it makes these shows funnier on an entirely different fucking level. Because you see the Three Stooges all working together in a pharmacy. And again, a pharmacy. What? You have to have a degree of some sort to work in a pharmacy, don't you? I mean, Jesus Christ, if that didn't eliminate them, I'm sure hitting each other with goddamn scrub brushes would put them right out. You got to think they yelled next at some point during that interview, right? The second fucking Curly barked in his brother's face, they didn't give him the job. They got to think that guy's a fucking OxyContin ad, right? He just wants to get in there and get his hands on the sweet meth ingredients. That's the only reason that dude is there. He's fucking barking dudes and spinning around on the goddamn floor. He can't hire that idiot. Let alone his brothers. And how did that work? Did they go into did any fucking sane place go, you know what? This guy seems like the brains of the outfit despite the ridiculous haircut. We'll hire him. And did he say, I'm sorry, you have to give both of my brothers jobs or I am not taking this position? Oh, God damn it. So see, it's much funnier on that level. So I watched the Three Stooges, and the episode that I watched was, of course, the 3 of them still live together with their mom. And Curly is an inventor. And he's invented a gold finding machine. And what it is it's literally got a dial on it, and you set it for gold, and you shoot an arrow into the air, and it's supposed to make the arrow go where there's gold. And then they wind up in the fucking, like in the scrub brush in the prairie, and they shoot the gold arrow. And come on, it doesn't work, folks. We know it doesn't work. But he shoots it into the air, and it shoots a prospector in the ass, of course. And the prospector's angry, and they pull a gun on the Stooges and make them run away. And then the Stooges then fire another arrow, and it goes into an old abandoned mine shaft. And then they find it, and they dive in, and there's money in there. I'm just like, dude, And it was funny the whole fucking time. It was funny the entire goddamn time. Like I said, on all the levels. The fact that they would take a cab to the desert. I mean, just like stupid levels. But then when you just looked at it for sheer raw fucking hilarity, Curly jams his head through a fucking wall and they're trying to get him out and they put a crowbar in his nose and they're spinning him around and he's making that face. Dude, Curly's a genius. All right. So there, I'm actually happy I finished it. And again, since we've fallen out of the top 200 in iTunes, I know he's the only person listening. Literally, this show is literally for me and him. And because you don't even listen. You have to listen when you edit it and you're just like, I don't even want to download it. Fuck that. I barely want to upload it. Oh, that's horrible. I can't understand why. All right, so there was something, but how did I get into the Stooges?
Because you never finished any stories.
Right, but there was a story I was about to finish that, because Meg, all right, here's what it was. Mex told me last week, not only that about the Stooges, but he said there was something that I had already talked about. He goes, dude, yeah, once you started to talk about that, I was like, oh no, because I know you've talked about that before. And, well, you say, but I mean, it's huge to me. You know what I mean? I don't know what I fucking said or I don't say.
3 years and you bring up a story again and touch on it, who cares?
I care. I very much care. This is why Leanna and Hannah, who've been doing they've been so funny. They're with the West Side 86 Jokers, which is the fan club. I'll tell you all about that later. But they've been doing a glossary for the show. They're still doing year one. Like they're just still excavating. I picture, you know what? They're like the Chilean miners of transcription because they're just buried under fucking year one, trying to get the fuck out. I mean, they're just like, oh my god, there's no way they can put it together. They're still looking for air and breath, and eventually. We're just going to have to put like a capsule down underneath all of the words and drag them out as they get pulled out past the 7-Eleven story and Jessica Simpson and fucking, Elvis's super friends. All right. Folks, by year one, it was great. Someday there'll be a glossary. Oh, you have a question?
Yes, I do.
All right, you raising your hand?
About the girl in the casino with the yo-yos? What the fuck?
Did I? Oh, that's what I was going to finish. All right, so yeah. But I swear to God I talked about it.
I don't think so.
Oh, dude. All right. This is one of my... All right. It's just because he had to be there. It's not going to be funny to you guys, but it's going to be funny to me because I lived it. All right. I'm in a casino, and I'm with... this might have been the trip I went with my buddy Sam and then Dennis, my friend Dennis, who I've talked about. Dennis, who clean up your squeak, you goddamn queen. Dennis from year one. All right. So Dennis, who invented Dogger. He's Dogger. I'll just call him Dogger because I got so many Dennises I talk about. So Dogger is he's in Vegas with me, and I was working at Catch a Rising Star, and I think he came out to watch me perform. This is when we saw Red Fox. I told that story, right? Yeah. Okay. So later that trip, I swear to God, I told the story. And again, it's not going to be funny to you guys. So let me just go ahead and take any build up or varnish away from it. This is not going to be funny or humorous to any of you, but to me, it was fucking hysterical. We're in this bar or in the casino, and there's a cigarette girl, and she's walking around and she's got not only cigarettes and candy, but she has all these light up toys like fucking bullshit neon and fucking crazy brooches and all this stupid shit. So she walks around and she's like, cigars, cigarettes, candy, whatever. So Dennis, of course, is trying to fuck everything with a vagina. And she comes over and he's engaging her in cigar talk. Whatever, I don't know, whatever fucking Dennis did to try to get laid. Like, Dennis is literally the guy who, when he was in college, like, he did this. I saw him do this. We were in a bar at U of I. And he would go up to women and he would go, and this is going to sound, again, fake, but it's true. He went up to a girl and he goes, hey, you like apples? She goes, yeah. And he goes, good, let's fuck. Like, that was his deal. Like, he would do that and mean it.
And it worked.
And mean it. Well, because literally, again, it sounds fake, but he did it and this girl just like laughed because it's college. You know what I mean? She like walked off, and I looked at him and I go, seriously, that's your game? And he goes, 9 out of 10 times that's what happens, but that 10th time, that's why I do it. I'm like, fuck you. This is all bullshit. But what do I know? He was fucking 5'4" and just getting laid all the time. So whatever. He was like Alex P. Keaton. I told you all about Dogger. So all right, so he's climbing all up this chick and trying to get inside of her pants or her leotard or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the costume. Who cares? So we're in the bar. So we wind up going out to the floor to go play. So he's playing blackjack, and my function all the time was I would be funny. That's what I would do at the blackjack table. Like my friends would play, and I would hold the empire. That's what it was. Is they would hold. I would hold all the chips. Whenever they would win, they would hand me chips, and out because I didn't drink. That was the thing, is they'd all be getting plowed. So I would be the sober guy who was just fucking cracking wise and being hysterical at the table and holding everybody's money. So we go to the table, and Dogger's at the table, and he's betting, and he's got a few in him, and he gives me some chips. So the fucking chick comes by. She's walking around, same girl, and he's just like, oh, and I forget her name, Patty, whatever. And he's yelling. Like all you can see is like blinking green neon a mile away at the other end of the casino. You know, we're playing blackjack. She's off in the, the dollar slots or the penny slots even, whatever the fuck. And he just starts yelling, Patty! He's just yelling across the casino floor. So she's walking, she's making her rounds, but then she sees him, and she actually thought he was charming. So she smiles and comes over. Because, again, most of the time you've got, like, 85-year-old Armenian guys pulling on you. I mean, you don't want that. So she's like, this guy, that Dogger was young and a decent-looking guy. He had Justin Bieber hair before Bieber was cool. So he was able to pull that out. He had, like, feathered hair. It was like, it wasn't in front, but it was, like, crazy feathered. Looked good on him. So he starts, like, macking on her again, and he's playing, and he throws her a $5 chip, he's all, because he's fucking crazy money. And he looks in the thing, and he goes, what do you got in there? And he starts digging around the box. And she's got cigars, cigarettes, and then she's got toys, like, the light-up bullshit. And she got a yo-yo in the package. And he's like, oh, my God, a yo-yo. And he goes, how much for the yo-yo? I go, dude, do not buy that fucking yo-yo. And she's like, well, because he had just tipped her $5. She goes, you can have the yo-yo. And he's like, what? And she goes, yeah, it's okay. And he goes, no, come on, how much for the yo-yo? And she's like, I think it was like $6. And again, casino, everything's jacked up. So he gives her $10. He throws her $10 on the fucking tray, and he takes the yo-yo. And it's in plastic. It's like encased in plastic. He starts biting it, like to try to open it. You can't open that fucking thing. And I go, why are you even opening the yo-yo? Play cards. What are you doing? And he goes, dude, I can do tricks. I go, let's get that fucking thing open. Like, I mean, that's all I need to hear. I'm completely on board. I'm like, dude, why are you getting a fucking yo-yo? Dude, I can do the tricks. Let's open it. So I go, if you play, I'll open it. So I go walking around. I'm looking for like a zip knife, an X-Acto knife, or a fucking, anything, a box cutter, which is still, I'm in a casino. What the fuck am I doing? So I go to the bar, and I go, hey, do you got like a knife or, for cutting limes or something? Can I open the plastic on this? And he goes, yeah. He winds up cutting open the plastic, and so I go back where Dennis is, and now there's a crowd at the table. I should tell you that, because another thing is, Dennis, when Dennis would like play craps, he would start yelling, like, and he would get people all excited and really get the table revved up, and we would all do it. Like whenever we were all playing, we've gone in before and taken over a blackjack table and been fucking, you all do it. You do it with your friends when you go to Vegas. I mean, if you're young, you want to go and have fun, and you're not just going to be quiet and stodgily play cards. And you're going to be hated by the people who are quiet and want to stodgily play cards. There's no doubt about that. But there's, at this time it was booming, so there was enough young people. So there's, a whole bunch of people around Dennis, and I think he's playing $50 a hand at the time at a $5 table. He's like, ooh. And so I come over with the fucking yo-yo package ripped open, and he's like, oh, dude, give me the yo-yo. So he takes the yo-yo, and he goes, I can do tricks. I go, you can't do any tricks. He goes, I can do tricks. And I go, what, like what? And he goes, dude, I can do the around the world. And I go, seriously? He goes, yeah, I can do it. Watch this. And he takes the yo-yo and he puts it on his hand, and it's not glowing. It's not doing the thing it's supposed to do. And he's looking for a switch to try to make it glow. And he's like, well, how did you turn it on? What's it say in the package? And I don't have the package anymore because I fucking left it at the bar. So I go, well, it's at the bar. And he's like, well, does it need a battery? What the fuck? What's wrong with it? And he shakes it, and when he shook it up, it started to glow and light up. So it's like, oh, dude, awesome. So he goes, all right, everybody, stand back. And he stands up, and he's got a crowd, and everybody's with him, and he's like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, crazy tricks. And there's a bunch of, there's people who hate us at other tables and stuff like that. But he puts the yo-yo on his hand, and he goes to fucking, and he's like, all right, dude, around the world, watch this. And he does like 1 down and up, 2 down and up. And he's like, see? And he kind of rocks it back and forth. He goes, yeah, to go around the world, you got to go all the way around. And I go, well, do that one where you can make the triangle. He goes, no, I got to do around the world, because I think it's the only one that he knew. So he goes 3, and he goes, all right, now watch this. He goes 1, he goes, count it off, 1, 2, and he goes to spin the fucking yo-yo. He goes like 1, 2, and he goes boom, and he goes around the world, and it fucking spins around, and it fucking shatters into 1,000 pieces, and it showers everybody with fucking yo-yo debris. I mean, it didn't hit the table, it didn't hit the wall, it just was this shoddily made piece of shit that you're not supposed to do goddamn tricks with. It's glowing green. He does 1, 2, whoom, and he goes to spin it, and it was like ding, ding. You hear it come apart. He's got a handful of string, and the fucking yo-yo it looked like the Challenger explosion. I mean, it just came apart. The O-ring gave out, and the entire fucking thing came apart over everybody playing at the fucking other tables. And they hated him anyway, but now he just showered them with plastic shards of yo-yo debris. Fucking glowing and fucking shiny, and you don't know what's in that fucking stuff. It's just literally filled with glowing cancer. That's what it's filled with. That might as well be just asbestos and fucking barium enema liquid. But he fucking just eats 1, 2, swing, and just ting, ting, it just comes apart, and it's a yo-yo and a string, but when it comes apart, there's 1,000 pieces of it. It's like gears and all. Literally look like I'm waiting for Nancy Reagan to look up and kind of shield her eyes and make a weird face. It was that fucking crazy. Oh, dude. And fucking sure enough, he's just got a string hanging from his hands, and it made people scream like this, like weird, like like a roller coaster scream, because everybody's like, yeah, 1, 2, and he swings it, fucking comes apart and shatters over the fucking countryside, just like an aerial bomb, and fucking plastic and gears and shit all over pit bosses and people. Oh man, it looked like the goddamn Hindenburg. Like I almost wanted to just go, oh, people are running, oh, the humanity. Oh, the fucking devastation of the yo-yo attack of 1991. Awesome, dude. And it was I'm just standing there for it, because then there's that beat where it just fucking plastic over everybody, people just ducking and getting hit in the eye with gears, and all of us we fucking fall out like the Cosby Kids. Blah! Just fucking fall down laughing. He's got the string in his hand. We're fucking cracking up. And believe me, if they didn't hate us before, holy shit. You know what makes you really hate somebody? Fucking yo-yo in the eye. That'll make you hate somebody twice.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. And later, Pap Smear Jamboree.
Cower, pathetic meatbag! I am Yeep, herald to Thorgar, soldier from the inner circle of the 7th level of hell. He is known throughout the afterlife as the bringer of woe, the soul feaster, and he walks the surface world in need of your services, barber. Serve or die!
Haircut or shave?
Not another sound, pig! Thorgar, what dost thou require? Thorgar demands that his skull be shorn to the bone in order to cast dread throughout the inferno he rules so cruelly. You will need to use your hellfire shears, as your pathetic mortal tools are useless on one such as Thorgar.
I've got scissors.
Silence, insect! Thorgar has reached his breaking point. We leave this place, but know that your careless insubordination will be forever a black mark on your heart. A mark that can only be read by the very one you have turned away today. Thorgar will enjoy cracking open your chest and eating that heart. Rest assured, there will only be a prelude, as you are now doomed to swim in the lake of fire and ash as your eyes bleed in perpetuity. Remember this day!
Okay.
Yes, Thorgar, yes. I saw his supercuts as we came up the street. Yes.
So I was voting. I think that's where I was at. Before we hit somebody in the eye with a Duncan. I went and voted yesterday, and I've talked about this before on the podcast. I have to vote at an old folks home, and it is just an insult to life. I mean, it's just, we walked in, and it just, there's old people at the green table and the orange table, and they want to know what table I'm supposed to be at, and they start yelling because you can't find it on your goddamn ballot, and Karen didn't have a ballot, and where's your ballot, and where's your name, and who goes where, and oh my God, Jesus Christ, sir. Honestly, you're going to actually break a hip with hate. Calm the fuck down. I mean, there's no reason for you to be that upset with us. Although I will be honest, I think I know why he was so upset. Because this was an old folks home, and I think they may be burying their dead in the kitchen. Holy, this place, there was this horrible smell. It smelled, and I said it to Karen, we loved it. I go, why? Is there any reason why the old folks home smells like a vagina filled with cat food? Is there any reason why it smelled like that? It was the most disgusting, vile, like crazy body smell, but also like you know what cat food smell? I mean, it had traces of like bathroom floor with with just like kennel. Oh, dude. Because again, let's face it. What is an old folks' home but a people kennel? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Yeah, make a sad face, but it's true. I mean, unfortunately, it's goddamn true. Only thing is, you can't go in there and adopt one of them and bring them home. You could. Maybe you could. You know, maybe I do that. Hey, Operation Gratitude, take a back seat to Operation Take Up a Blue Hair. All right, I'm in. I'm gonna go pick an old person home. I don't need to bring home a human tisk. All right, so I get enough disapproval from the people I know who are around me. I don't need to bring home some stranger to go. All right. But Jesus, was that place awful, man. But then we cast our votes. But I did my homework beforehand. I brought my pre-marked ballot with me so I could make sure that I remembered what to do and look at everything. And I had spent the days studying my placards. And let's put it this way. I wasn't sure I was going to get to the polling place because I was buried underneath placards from Meg Whitman at my house. I mean, I don't know, because what did she spend? $150 million to lose a job? Good for you. I mean, that's fantastic. Let me tell you something. If you spend $150 million of your own money, and you, in a year of Republican revolution and Democratic upheaval, and every other Democrat across the fucking, the United States gets their ass beat, and it's getting beaten by lunatics. Can we be honest with that? I mean, every Democrat is going down to defeat to some idiot who's trying to tell you that we need to go to the harbor and kill the Indians. I mean, dude, seriously. Slow your roll, all right? Let's go and get our office set up before we start putting on war paint and taking over the fucking Nina Pinta and the Santa Maria, you fuck. And yes, I know Columbus's ships weren't involved in the Boston Tea Party. Don't write me. If you're going to write anybody, write a soldier and tell them how great my show is. All right. Maybe that's what I send the soldiers. I send them fucking yo-yos from a casino. Because as Jerry Seinfeld has taught us, the yo-yo was originally a weapon. In wartime, I think we can arm our soldiers with a goddamn yo-yo and it changes everything. Think fast, Johnson. Guy's been out ducking bombs all day. Nothing funnier than that, folks. Really, nothing funnier than that. This is all on the goddamn fly. I did a whole show in my bed today. I don't remember. It was hysterical. All right. So what was I talking about? So we're voting, and but if you spend $150 million in a year of like, you know, Democrats getting their asses beat by anybody who comes along and has a pulse, and you still can't win the office, and not only that, you lose to a psychopath. Did you see Jerry Brown's speech last night? Look, I voted for the guy, and I'm excited because, again, folks, if you know anything about me, you know that I love chaos. Just the very fact that we're going to bring this guy in, and it's so funny. First of all, by the way, let's all decide this right now. Fuck Brian Williams from NBC. Can we all say fuck Brian Williams?
Fuck Brian Williams!
And his smug bullshit. You know, look, I understand you're funny because he's funny on 30 Rock. When he makes guest appearances and stuff like that, he's funny on talk shows. Dude, don't bring your funny to the goddamn news as the country falls apart before our very fucking eyes. And I don't say that as a judgment on who was voted in and who wasn't voted in. This country's falling apart, period. All right? I don't give a fuck who's running it, who got voted in, who's got voted out. It doesn't fucking matter. This whole thing is, the paint is peeling, folks, all right? We need to get somebody in here to fucking fix the joint up. But yeah, I watched Brian Williams last night, and he smugly was making fun of California because of, he called Jerry Brown. He goes, oh, a fresh new face in California. Ha, 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 ha. Yes, it's hilarious. It's hilarious that you would sit in your fucking ivory tower and laugh at us because we voted for that guy. Guess what? The other choice was a chick who fucking ran a website that sold baseball cards for overpriced fucking tchotchkes and made billions of dollars off of it. I mean, it's not like, Christ, I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up for no reason. It's stupid, dumb, foolish. Because I don't care. I really don't care, folks. I'm being completely honest with you. Lily and I, we talked politics when I got here for like an hour, and she's sad, and her heart's broken for the direction of the country, and she's disappointed in the way things turned out, and I laugh. I think the entire thing is just a fucking crack up. I'm pissed. You know what? I will tell you, I'm pissed because the real lunatics didn't win. I mean, like a lot of lunatics got in. If we're going to fuck this up, let's fuck this up. How the fuck does Christine O'Donnell not get in? God damn it, put her in. Anti-masturbation pro-witch? How do you not vote for that chick? Just to see what the fuck will happen. That pisses me off. How do you not vote for her? Because your Rand Pauls, they've already been touched by the Republican Party. Rand Paul has already been, believe me, Tea Partiers, he's already been sucked into the Mitch McConnell machine, and he's going to go ahead and do whatever he's told by those people because they gave him the money and they brought him in, and he, believe me, everybody's bought and paid for. So why wouldn't you mix it up with some goddamn Halloween costumes? Why wouldn't you That idiot in fucking who wore a Nazi uniform he's a Nazi war reenactor. He loses. Why? Why does he lose? Sweep him in with the rest of them. God damn it, sneak him in. Those people, it's funny, like literally, it was a month or of an election of sweeping change, and all those people are marching in the front door. Why couldn't you let Christine O'Donnell and the Nazi reenactor and fucking Carl Palladino just tag in at the end of the line at the end, and they're like the last three in the door? Because, it's like in the movies, when like some guy goes to the movies and he brings 8 kids, and 3 kids want to sneak in, so they just go, oh, we're with him, and they walk onto the plane or into a fucking theater from the old. Why couldn't Palladino, O'Donnell, and fucking Nazi sneak in? It would be great. Why wouldn't you vote for those guys? God damn it. If you're going to fuck it up, why not fuck it up all the way? Why not have a racist governor who sends bestiality movies to people through the email? Why wouldn't you have that? You already had a fucking smarmy dickhead who banged hookers and followed that up with a half a blind guy who also had an affair. What harm are you going to do by having bestiality Jones in the goddamn office? Spitzer fucked call girls. The blind guy fucked, he doesn't know what because he's blind. This other guy, he's got videos of fucking horses banging chicks and he's sending it out to his friends. He's half a racist. He's talking to fucking Hasidic Jews and he's saying that, gays shouldn't multiply. Who cares? Put him in. I don't give a fuck what he said. He's crazy. Put him in. If you're going to vote this way, and this is all we do. You know what? All we do in this country is vote for the guy who's not them. That's it. Nobody supports anybody. Nobody believes in anything. Everybody's like, oh, well, he's not that guy, so I'll vote for him. That's it. That's the entire basis of elections in this country is, oh, they're not that guy. So if you're going to vote for the guy who isn't that guy, why not vote for the guy who isn't any of us? Why not? Anti-masturbation, pro-witch, Nazi bestiality fans. Get them in there. Give them a crack at changing this fucking thing. It couldn't be any worse. Let's do it. This entire fucking thing is falling apart. I feel like Morrison. Literally, I just want to get my kicks before the whole shithouse goes up in flames. God damn it. Somebody give me a lamb and let me put my finger through my zipper and get me arrested. Fuck yeah. I'm going to go make out with a high priestess witch and get some guy to mace me. Yeah, let's do it. We're turning this country on its goddamn ear. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that the real crazies didn't get in. A lot of shitty people got in, but fucking let's put all the crazy people in. Jerry Brown's nuts. He's fucking nuts. He's like a 75-year-old man, and last night he gave his speech, and he looked like an evangelical preacher walking around. And here's my favorite part of the speech. He's walking, and he's going, look, and one thing we need to recognize in California, we're going to have tough times. Could be a year, could be 2, maybe longer. But what we need to, and I'm like, wait a second, hold on. That wasn't in your stump speech, Jerry. I don't recall a lot of, hey, we're going to have 3 years of tough times. Whoa, hold on. But anybody who thinks that we weren't going to have tough times is crazy. So it's good and refreshing to see a fucking nutbag with, a fucking flowing head of white hair come out there and tell you things are going to suck for the next 3 years. That's what I'm talking about. Cast a vote for that guy. Let the heavens open up and the fucking acid rain pour down in this entire fucking area. I hope there's an earthquake and California breaks off into the sea and we just go, because everybody, like the rest of the country is always like, oh yeah, the land of fruits, nuts, and flakes and all that bullshit. And it's going to be, you know what? Good. That's fine. You guys let your Nazi reenactors and your fucking anti-masturbation witches go ahead and run your country, and we'll float gently out to sea with our crazy evangelical preacher. As he tells us all it's going to suck, he doesn't lie to us and go, hey, look, we're going to change stuff. No, nobody's changing shit. Nobody's changing anything. And again, I don't presume to tell you how to, if you support the Tea Party, good for you. You support Republicans, good for you. You support Democrats, good for you. I'm not telling anybody how to fucking think or how to behave or how to vote. Everybody should vote the way they want to vote within themselves. Because, I used to think when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, man, this is going to be great. Your vote counts. You can change everything. And I'm not that shithead who doesn't think my vote counts. My vote counts for something eventually, at some point, I'm sure. It counts in letting me know that I can go ahead and talk like this and bitch about stuff because I went ahead and voted. That's it. You're literally only voting for the privilege of being able to bitch about what was wrong. Support who you want to support, but it used to be like, think globally, act locally, and, support your neighbors, and it takes a village to raise a fucking child. Hey, look around your village. Do you really want them raising your goddamn kid? No. Abso-fucking-lutely not. I'll tell you what, folks, it's selfish and it's wrong. I went and I voted, I vote, I do what I do, but I don't fucking think 5 feet in either direction. I don't. I think about me and Karen, and that's it. And I mean, because, the end times are nigh. We all know that. The end times are nigh. I want to make sure I have enough leather jackets to keep me warm when I've got to battle Lord Humongous. That's all I want to know. And the thing that sucks is when the Road Warrior stuff happens, I don't know shit about cars. I'm going to have to be a sidekick. Fuck that, man. I am not happy about that. When the fucking Road Warrior happens, I got to find a Mad Max to glom onto. That's the thing. I need a buddy. I mean, I can drive, but I can't build a tricked out fucking car. Those guys are going to fucking destroy me. They're going to have like Speed Racer saws coming out of the front of their cars and all sorts of fucking shit, and I'm going to be driving some jacked up fucking Mini Cooper that I stole. God damn it. The end times are going to suck for me. Lord Humongous is going to rape me. I'm going to wind up in Thunderdome getting my ass kicked. Jesus Christ. I think I can handle myself, and then all of a sudden fucking Thunderdome shows up, and yeah, it changes a man. I'm not going to lie to you. Thunderdome changes a man. You might think you're tough and you can handle yourself. You're two-fisted. You're like, hey, man, I've been in a couple of scraps. I can go ahead and handle myself if fucking shit hits the fan. Bullshit. You wind up in Thunderdome with a fucking midget on your shoulders. Everything changes. Thunderdome changes a man, goddammit. And it's coming. Don't think that it's not. Everything's ending. Everything is fucking ending, folks. I should be on the side of the road with a sign. Honestly, this is fucking terrible. Look, folks, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm an optimist. Things are going to be fine. Here's the thing that drives me crazy. I voted yesterday. Again, I love chaos, so I voted for the pot. I voted for 19. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Because I might start growing it. Fuck, I need money. Let's do this. Karen and I both, we were so excited to see marijuana get legalized. We don't even smoke. Karen smoked like in high school 1,000,000 years ago, and she hasn't since. And I've smoked 3 times in my life. And I mean, but I don't care. I thought it would be fucking awesome. Just because I wanted to see, like, once they started making marijuana available at stores, would they package it up in like Quentin Tarantino invented Red Apples for his movies, Red Apple cigarettes. I wanted to see like the cute pot names they would come up with, like fucking one-hitters and all that kind of shit. That'd be awesome. And like, would you sell apples and then sell apple bongs, you know what I mean, in the same fucking joint? Like, I think, why not? That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a pot society, baby. And let's put it this way. For years, all I've heard from you 420 motherfuckers is, oh, it's coming. Oh, I can't wait till we can legalize it, man. Legalize it. The fucking Black Crows have made a career about playing on hilltops and telling people to legalize fucking pot. Literally, between the Black Crows and Cypress Hill, I can't believe that they couldn't mobilize enough people to pass this fucking thing yesterday. I am so pissed off that I don't ever want to hear you guys say legalize it again. Ever in 1,000,000 fucking years. Because you had your chance. You had your fucking chance. In California, Berkeley alone should have passed the motherfucker. What is wrong with you people up there? Are you fucking patchouli mongers fucking knitting blankets on street corners? What the fuck is wrong with you? Get out and vote. Put down your hacky sack and pull a lever, for Christ's sake. But it doesn't pass. It doesn't pass. So I guess, unfortunately, now I will just have to be able to go into every third storefront and buy marijuana like I have been for the past 3 years. That's why I didn't pass out here, folks. Because literally, there are more fucking pot dispensaries than 7-Elevens in this goddamn city, county, state. I mean, it's crazy. I think literally California's second largest growing, first largest growing is the pot dispensary. Second largest growing would be the neon green pot leaf sign selling industry. Certainly the creation of said signs and possibly the selling of them as well, because everywhere you go, it just says Kush. And yes, potheads, I might be saying it wrong. Kush. I don't know how you fucking say it. Is it Kush? Oh, you know they're pothead? All right, interesting. Fuck you. You're supposed to give me acid 9 years ago. All right, so yeah.
I'm afraid it will really damage you.
It's not going to damage me. Come on, dude. I'll do it, and I'll do a show on it. If you give me acid, I'll do a show on acid. How crazy would that be?
Stop telling people I would be the one getting it.
Listen to me, folks. It's Prop 21. Lily supplies acid to Mike. Let's all vote for that. Can we do that, folks? Let's get me some acid and see what it does to me. Just give me, you know what? Just lock me in a room with a fucking microphone, acid, and a yo-yo. Do it. Let's do this. Fuck. Although I wasn't. It was Dogger with the yo-yo, not me. I fucking just yelled, no. People get plastic all over them. All right. God, that was funny. Gears stuck in their heads. Ah. All right. That didn't happen. It would have been even better if it was a devastating, like, killing machine. All right. Yo-yo filled with razor blades? Again, send it to Operation Gratitude. By the way, I should mention that this segment of Yo-Yos Filled with Razor Blades is brought to you by Riley from Dublin. It was good for Riley to get involved. All the way from Ireland, Riley from Dublin. And you know what? I'll also say Alan. Alan went ahead and sponsored this segment as well. So Riley from Dublin and Alan from wherever Alan's from. I didn't want to take everybody's fucking name and address. How rude would that be? I should say all their names. Here's their phone number. I don't have their phone numbers. It's very important to me to get everybody's phone number when they go ahead and sponsor the show. The hell was I talking about? I don't even know. Pot. Dope. There you go. Grass. Mary Jane. Weed. I'm Joe Friday. Yeah, I mean, because I don't understand why people didn't vote for it to be legal. I guess, look, I understand Sticks in the Mud all voted they didn't want it to be legal because they all think that their kids are going to fucking smoke it and play a piano real fast. That's fine. I understand that. But real fucking stoners, man, how do you not get off your ass and go vote? God damn it, I don't understand it. All right. You know why? Because even stoners don't want to pay taxes. Like, even, you know what I mean? Even it's not important enough. They're like, they'd still rather buy a fucking bag of shake from some fucking smelly dirtbag out on Venice Beach than deal with the fucking government, which I guess makes sense. Because you got to figure, because stoners are, let's face it, stoners are so stoned for so long, they're all paranoid now, so they think that if they buy government dope, they're going to go on some government dope list. Which is I think that's actually who we voted in yesterday was the whole government dope list. Haha, I'm telling you how to vote, folks. Earlier I was telling you about fucking vagina filled with cat food. All right, but now I'm giving you lessons about the government. I'm stupid. All right, so look, I feel my way, you feel your way, and I'm not going to be able to change your mind. Nobody changes anybody's mind in this goddamn country. Every 2 years, everybody goes, get those guys out of there, and then they put in these new dudes, and then they remember, we put these dudes in 2 years ago, and they didn't do anything right. What the fuck? God, what's wrong with you people? All right, I blame all of you. But again, I voted for pot, and it didn't pass.
And you don't even smoke it.
I don't, because I wanted to see what would happen. I'm excited about it. Like I said, that's the thing. I vote for chaos because I don't have kids. I don't give a shit if this world goes to hell. It already has, as far as I'm concerned. I love California. I'm excited about it. Would it be better if I didn't have to walk into a store and say "hola" to 5 people? Probably. I mean, that might be better. But who knows? We will never know because now that's what this state is, and that's what it's going to be. Why am I tied up into that? Christ. Yeah, you have to say, because that's literally like every store you walk in, it's just fucking some, Spanish dudes.
But I say hi, and then they say hola back, and we have bridged the gap because we understand each other.
Because you got tits. It's easier to bridge a gap with tits, all right? It's much easier to bridge a gap with tits. Nobody wants to understand me. You put them on and you bounce over. Seriously, if you got a rag, like in Monty Python when they tried to cross the fucking troll bridge and the guy was like, what's your name, what's your favorite color, and they threw him into the abyss. If you got tits, he's not even asking the questions. He goes, hey, walk on my rickety bridge. I'm excited about that. But if you don't have any tits, forget about it. Everything's a negotiation. Everything is fucked. So that's why. You realize that. You've got a fucking gigantic rag, so you can get away with stuff. Not me.
I can get away with saying hello.
Yes. I can't. I walk in and I'm like, hello, and they give me the fucking fisheye. And they pour Corona on my head and they hit me with a burrito and I go, hola. All right. Hola. So, look, it's been, I am not, so, look, all right, it's funny, I mentioned vagina stuff with cat food. That old folks home was horrible, all right? But, folks, I can top it. Sadly, I can top it. I wish I didn't, wish I couldn't, but I can top it. Karen and I went to TJ Maxx. And by Karen and I mean I drove. And she went in to look for purses and lady stuff, and I did not want to be there. I had no interest in being there. I actually had to take her there after the day the Phillies won Game 5. Because she was watching the game with me, and she wanted to go to TJ Maxx and return something, and I was supposed to go with her. And then I said to her, you know what, no, I got to watch the Phillies. I go, and she can't drive because of the accident we've mentioned. I think I've mentioned to you folks. So I'm the chauffeur. I got to take her everywhere. So I'm going to look, just hang out and watch the Phillies. I go, you know what? I go, if you hang out and watch the Phillies, I'll buy you something at TJ Maxx if they win. All right? That's the key. If they win, we'll go and everything will be fine.
Wow.
Well, I thought that was just words. I mean, I thought that was just a way to get her to calm down and watch the show. And I thought she was a normal human adult who realized that you're not 5 years old and you don't get a reward for going to goddamn TJ Maxx and waiting through a baseball game. I thought. So the fucking Phillies win Game 5, and I'm all excited, and it's like 8:30, and they close at 9 at TJ Maxx. She goes, are we going? I go, what do you mean? She goes, let's go to TJ Maxx. And I go, dude, they close at 9. We're never going to make it. She goes, we'll get there by 9. And I go, yeah, and then what? You're going to take 2 minutes to walk around? And she goes, so did you lie when you said you would go there and buy something? And again, are you 5? Yes, I lied. It's America. Grow up and watch a baseball game. Are you shitting me? You're going to make me buy you something. I couldn't believe it. I mean, because again, I don't say no to her. I'll do whatever she wants at all times. But don't abuse it. Don't fucking do that. Don't run into the rocks. Don't say land ho and run the ship into the goddamn rocks. So I was like, are you serious? She goes, yeah, I really need to go and return this. And then you said, you're, And I went, all right. So we went to TJ Maxx. And we get there, and I don't want to be there, so I start twittering to everybody how fucking horrible. I actually twittered a picture from there. And she was returning something, and she goes looking around for what she's going to get, and I, so then I think it's TJ Maxx. It's literally a toilet with a cash register. I mean, what could you possibly want from there? It's just a bunch of accessories and horrible bullshit. So she goes to look. She goes off on her fucking search party, and she's looking around TJ Maxx. I'm in the front twittering, just standing there, fucking bored out of my skull. And people are writing me, like escape plans. And I asked the guy, I think, for the blueprints of the store, so I could just Judd Nelson it and climb into the ceiling and shuttle to another fucking room. I just wanted out. So Karen goes and she comes running up and she goes, "Oh, can you get me these? This is what I want." Look, I love my wife. We all love my wife, right? She's great. She's the only thing that keeps me from murdering people, probably. But my wife decided that the price of watching Phillies baseball was a $60 pair of leather gloves. In California. Gloves? Are you shitting me? It's fucking 95 degrees outside. You want a $60 pair of gloves? Now you're just buying shit. You know what I mean? Now you don't need it. You don't want it. Now you're just grabbing something. And I looked at her and I go, Are you serious? And she just goes, yeah, these would be so great. And then she had a thing of perfume as well. And it was, look, it's TJ Maxx. So they sell, their eau de toilette really came out of a toilet. All right, it's shitty. It's shitty perfume. If you want good perfume, look, I'll take you to Bloomingdale's. We'll go to Neiman Marcus and get the things because she likes, I told you, she likes Flower Bomb. She likes Chanel, which I hate. I mean, there are things that she likes. So if you want a fancy perfume, you'll get it eventually around Christmas or something. Well, just hang tight. But now, in the meantime, she's buying shitty perfume. And here's her. All right, I will tell you. Here's my wife. Okay, it's $60 leather gloves, and then the fucking bad fragrance, and she goes, "Oh my God, smell it!" And she sprays it on her hand. And I'm sensitive to smell guy. All right, which will come into play a little later. But I really. I'm sensitive. I smell something from a mile away. I don't know if because she smoked forever, she needs it in her mouth to smell it. But I mean, I desperately can't. Oh, easy. You haven't showered or something? Is that the problem? All right. You're wearing a tank top. I would have told you if there was a problem. But so she sprays this like 3 sprays on her arm and then jams it into my face. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking. I mean, I can smell it. Literally, I can just smell that. Looking at the box, I know what it smells like. But it smells like sugar cookies. And citrus, it's stripper scent is what it is. That's what strippers wear because because Karen has been to the strip club with me, and actually asked the strippers oh my God, what perfume is that? And we had to go find it at the Hustler store. So sure enough, this stuff smells it smells like sugar cookies and lemon bars. I mean, it just smells like it's a hard-on in a jar. That's all it is. It's meant to get the man right in the cerebral cortex where it's like, Jesus, I want to eat something and then fuck it. I mean, it's that kind of a scent. So it's a very animalistic, gut punch of a scent. And I know it, but I mean, the thing is, dude, so it makes me smell it, and I'm like, it does smell good. I mean, it smells fuckable, absolutely. I like it. And she says, oh my God, she goes, this is what I want. And I go, well, which one? And she goes, well, I want both. And I go, pick one. And we're in line now.
You're awful.
Why am I awful? She shouldn't even getting one. All right, so she's got her thing that she's going to return, and then she's got these 2 things, and she's like, oh, and I go, nah, dude, no, you can't pick one. And she keeps going, no, but it smells really good, and I want the glove, and I go, pick one. So we're progressing up the line. I'm not talking, and she's looking at other things. She's looking at these calendars and memo pads, and she's asking me if, blah, 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 and then she's still holding them both. And we're inching closer, and I go, pick one. And she's just like, well, what if I bought one, and then you bought one for me? I go, pick one. You're here to get one thing, right? Pick one. And she's just so. And then she became a 5-year-old. She got sad, made a sad face. She's like, She's looking at him, And then they call us, register 4. Walk up to register 4. And if you're going to pick one of those, which one are you going to pick?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we go to the counter, and she still has them in her hand, and one last plead, one last. As Lecter said, one last wheedle before she gives me the look, the little, and I said, pick one. And the cash register person goes, I'll be right back, because they had to go to the other, there was a price check, whatever the fuck. She had to go into the back and grab something off the shelf. And Karen looked at me and she goes, get them both. and then I'll wear the perfume and the gloves while I give you a hand job. Thinking that that's going to get me off the pick one fence.
Fuck yes.
And I look at her and I go, Karen, pick one. I'm impervious. I've got a hard candy shell. Fuck that. I literally,
Wow.
look, it's $60 gloves or $15, fuck fragrance. That's it. Pick one. So then the cashier just comes back and Karen is all sad and looks down. And she goes, all right, well, I guess I won't get these. And gives her the gloves.
Wow.
Picks the fuck fragrance instead of the gloves. So the woman goes, okay, and she puts them back in overstock, and she comes back, and Karen goes, and I need to return this. And the girl rang up the return, and she goes, okay, that's $17. And I look at it, I go, go get the gloves.
Aww.
And she goes, you want them now? And I go, yeah. And Karen she turned around, she's all happy, and she looks at me, and I go, you're returning that, so that covers your fragrance. You bought that the other day. The one thing I'll get you is the gloves. Yeah, whatever. I'm a soft touch, and so they bring the gloves over, and she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so happy!" Like then she's like, she's like running in circles. She's all so thrilled because she's got her gloves and her fuck juice, and I'm like, "All right, fine." So she, gets the gloves and she gets the fragrance, and then she bought, and of course, then she grabs like two other things that are right there by the register, get like a memo pad and then a scarf, like her impulse buys, throws them into the mix, and I'm just like, fine. So she gets all that stuff. And we walk out of the car, and she puts the gloves on, and she's doing a fashion show of gloves in the parking lot. And she's all excited. And I should have made her jerk me off right there in the parking lot. Why not? But instead, she was all happy, and she got her gloves, and everything was fine, and that was great. Until it turned out she needed to return the impulse buys. She wanted to return those because the scarf had a rip in it that she didn't see. And then she was also going to bring back the memo book because I think it was 2010, and she thought it was a 2011, whatever. So we have to go back to TJ Maxx. Again, she can't drive. I have to go back to fucking TJ Maxx. Are you shitting me? I might as well just get a fucking job there. I've spent so much goddamn time there. And that's a lie, but who cares? I don't want to be there once, ever. Because when I was a kid, literally, TJ Maxx was the shittiest place on earth. It was like, you bought slippers and a raincoat from a shithole like that. But now I guess they're fancy. I don't know if they're fancy. Who fucking knows? Who cares? So we go there, and Karen then, because I firmly believe she's buying things just because she knows she's going to return them so she can have the thrill of picking something else out. That's really the only thing that I think she's doing. Because we go to TJ Maxx again this past week, and we get in there, and I don't even want to go in the store, all right? But I'll go in with her because she's going to look around. She's like, come in with me. And so I do, and there's a bench, right by a bench that wasn't there the previous week. So I'm like, fuck it. I go, Karen, I'm sitting up here. She's like, okay. Like, she's gone already. I literally just yells, disappears. So I sit down on the bench. And I got my phone. I'm looking at scores and fucking around and surfing Facebook, whatever, and sitting on the bench. And people keep walking by and looking at me like I'm a guard because it's great because it's literally right by the front door. It's not outside. It's inside. You walk inside, and on the right-hand side, there's this bench that hadn't been there before. So I'm sitting on the bench and waiting for Karen, and she's picking out her stuff. And she'd be like, Michael, and she's holding up a blouse. What do you think of this? Oh, Christ. You know what I think? Get me the fuck out of here. That's what I think. I think I liked a ripped scarf and an old date book before I wanted to buy one more fucking thing in this goddamn joint. Jesus Christ. So I'm sitting there, and a little kid comes in with his family. And his family keeps walking, but he's looking at me on the bench. Like he's just staring at me. And I'm looking at him. I'm not going to fucking back down. You're not going to stare me out, little kid. So I'm staring at him. He's staring at me. He's probably 4, and he's just looking right at me. And his family kept walking, like they left him behind, and which of course means I'm keeping my hands completely to myself. Because unless his family's around to see the high five or the handshake, I don't want to I don't want to hear that guy touch me or grab me. No, fuck that. When a kid's away from his family, it's like a rabid dog. You literally should just call the authorities and have him put into a cage and taken off to a kennel. You're better off than trying to help him because you can't touch that kid because the next thing you know, they're going to go, oh, my God, he's got a bruise on his thigh. You're in jail for 11 years. So I'm sitting on the bench. He's staring at me. I'm staring at him. The only thing missing is the fucking, the music from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it should be there. And then I should say it's a bench that's kind of a wicker. It's not wicker, but it's like it's that kind of material. Like it's not wicker, but not. Yeah, okay, there you go. But it's all like layered on top of one another. So I'm sitting, and I'm on the far right. So there's nobody on my left except empty bench, and then there's arms on the bench. And he doesn't come around at the front of the bench. He's still standing right at the end of it. And he's staring at me, I'm staring at him, and he decides he wants on the bench. But he's not going to take the easy way. He's going to climb over the goddamn arm. So he just, like, starts scrambling up the bench, and he does that little kid thing where he's like he's climbing a goddamn mountain. It's hysterical. I can't stop. I'm just start laughing. I'm like, ha ha! Kid's climbing. Like, it's the greatest challenge of his life, but he decided, and now, but I got to be honest, part of me is wondering if he's coming after me. Because it's like, we were staring each other down, and he finally went, you know what? Fuck it. He just threw down his $60 leather gloves, and he climbed over the goddamn arm to come after me. So he climbs up, and he's like, he climbs over the arm, and he's like, ja! And he lands on both of his feet, and he's standing on the bench right next to me like a little Superman, and he's just staring at me. So, and I'm staring at him. I'm like, I'm not backing down. I don't care if the arm, literally, there's nothing between you and me but air and opportunity. So if you want some, get some. So I'm staring at him. He's staring at me. And then I hear his family just goes, Drake! And he turns his head. And they go, Drake, come on! And he, like, looks at me. And he looks back at his family. And they go, Drake, honey, come on! And he looks at me and he goes, makes a little grunt noise. And he leans down. And he puts his hands on my feet because I got my legs crossed. He puts both hands on my foot and goes, and he jumps off the bench, uses me as furniture, and just lands on his feet and like looks around like, and then runs. Just runs off. Awesome. Drake the bench climber with a fucking stare down. Awesome. Loved him. Kept my hands to myself, but I was just furniture to him. That's the thing, is maybe he was just staring right through me. He thought I was part of the goddamn bench. Put his hands right on my foot. Climbed down, jumped down, ran. Awesome. So I couldn't wait to tell Karen. I'm all excited. She comes out with a fucking shoe. I don't know what the fuck she bought. A clutch. Some fucking makeup. Who cares? But she goes and she gets in line. She exchanges it, and we split. Go out to the car, and again, I'm driving. And I get in the car, and we drive out of the parking lot. It's like there's like a huge, you know where this is. It's over by the Wendy's, and it's a gigantic plaza. So there's a million fucking stores. So it's filled with like traffic and fumes, and we're driving, and Karen goes, "Man, what's that smell?" And I smell it too. It kind of smells like tar, but almost more rancid. Like I don't know what it is. And I go, "Oh, I don't know." You know when it gets hot? Because I'll tell you what, it got re-hot here. All right, it looked like fall was here. It was like 70 degrees. Well, now it was 95 the past 3 days. So you get that spit smell from a parking lot when it just smells like spit, like cooked tar smells like spit. So that's what it smelled like to me. But it had a funkier afternote to it. I don't know. It was fucking. But I couldn't tell. I couldn't smell anything really. But so we drive home, and I go, I don't know. I think it's just the parking lot. So we drive home, and I had to go back out because I was going to a taping of a podcast, the David Feldman podcast. If you know David, I was going to go check out his taping. So I go home and I drop Karen off, and I sit down and get my stuff ready to take off. I bail. I leave the house. I open my car door, and my car reeks. It's you know what? It was like somebody punched me in the face with a shit-covered glove. I mean, it was just the most. It was this horrible stench. When I opened my car, it was like, you remember in Seinfeld when the valet guy, remember he stunk up his car or whatever, and he couldn't get rid of the smell to the point where he had to get rid of the car? I had that moment of fear in the pit of my stomach when I opened the car because it smelled like something had died in my car. It was the most. It smelled like somebody shit in an armpit. All right, it was like that. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I cannot. Because I open the door and I get in and I go to drive and I realize it's still in the car, like it's just this permeating smell. I thought it was just a passing smell or maybe in the parking lot, but it is definitely in my car now. So then I think I stepped in something. All right, I can't figure out what it is, but so I'm like looking at my shoes. I back up in my parking garage, but I put it in park and I look around on the floor to see if there's anything in there, and I look at my shoes. There's nothing there, and because it smelled like people were ass fucking at the stockyards. I mean, holy God. It smelled like orphans crying. I mean, it was like that, and not like chopping onions crying. I'm talking like because they realized they were orphans and the fucking horrible future that they have ahead of them crying. Those kind of sad and bitter tears. That's what it smelled like in my fucking car. And I'm like, well, fuck. I was still gonna go out because I had to go to this. I wanted to go to this podcast, and I've been putting it off forever. I was supposed to go like fucking last 2 months. So I just rolled all the windows down and I opened the sunroof and I fucking drove, hoping to outrace the smell. hoping to outrace the goddamn stench. And so I was down at the fake gallery, and I get down in Hollywood, and I've pondered leaving my windows open in my car. But instead I had to roll them up. So I go walking, I go inside, and taping was great. Everything was fine. I said hi to a few people, and none of them betrayed that they smelled what I smelled. So then I was just thinking that it must be in the car. It just must be something fucking horrible. And I must have stepped in something. Maybe it's gone. Maybe I'm the only person who notices this. But then I stayed till the end of the taping, and then I split. I go back to my car. I open it up, and sure enough, it smells like baked shit. I mean, it just smells like my car. It smelled like what every house on Hoarders must smell like. You know what I mean? Just that horrible. It did. It smelled like yearbooks from days gone by. You know what I mean? Like that fucking just piles of empty cans. And I mean, it just smelled like hate. And I get in the car and I'm driving, and I just want to get home now because I can't even figure out what the fuck. I get home, I get out of the car, close the door, and I go in the house, wondering how I'm going to fix the car smell. When I realize that the smell is traveling with me. Car's all closed up. But as I take steps, I realize that this stench is hanging on me like a goddamn friend on my shoulder. So I realize it's me. It's my shirt that's like I pull my shirt up over my head. My shirt smells like I'd been buffing scrotums for like 4 hours. I mean, it's just that kind of horrible like ball smell. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't even it smells like a ball sack filled with garlic. I mean, it's like that kind of nasty, musty fucking smell. Oh, dude. I mean, it smelled like German porn. All right. I mean, that was that kind of a violation of the senses. It smelled like uncut cock. All right. Do you know what I'm talking about? Just like, I mean, that's, which is not that I know, folks, by the way, not that I would have any idea, but what I would imagine that it would be like. Because I'm going to be honest, every time I see a porno where a girl's got to work a cock in a smoking jacket, oh, man, I sit there, and she's, they're all making those pleading eyes. Look, we've all seen blowjobs, and the girls make the sexy blowjob eyes, but whenever I see a girl working a fucking anteater, I'm just like, oh, my God, she's always got that. Those women look like, that always makes me think of like, 8mm, or those women being held against their will and having to have sex. Look, I understand all of you fine folks in Europe. You've decided to keep that part of your body. Good for you. Wonderful. I didn't have a choice. I woke up without it. Nobody asked me if I wanted it or not. But I have to be honest, if I was going to choose, I've never been a guy to wear a coat. So that's just me. I always like to have bare arms, and so I'm excited about the way I've turned out. And folks, if you like the way you've turned out, that's fantastic. If you think that your cock needs to have its own carrying case, good for you. So, what the fuck was I talking about? All right, horrible. I'm alienating everybody, soldiers and the Europeans. The Europeans? No, Europeans. I can't even talk. But it was just horrible. It was this nasty fucking reek. And it was my shirt. And I actually kind of started walking fast to get in the house. Like, I didn't know what the fuck it was. And I went in the house. Karen was already in bed. But I went right in the bedroom and I started to get undressed. And I took the shirt off. And as I took it off, my head, this wafting breeze of just like the seventh circle of hell went right by my nose. I'm like, oh, no. And I went to take my jeans off. And I picked up my jeans. And sure enough, my jeans, too, they fucking just reeked. I felt like Cher in Silkwood. Like I took the belt off and I wrapped my clothes up and I powered them as deep as I could into the clothes basket and I covered them with clothes. Because what am I going to do, bury them in the yard? I mean, I almost wanted to burn them at that fucking point. I didn't know what the fuck it was. Huh?
You contaminated all of the clothes.
No, I buried it all the way underneath and I put it on top. And I put it on top of a towel to make sure it didn't touch the basket so the basket wouldn't have stink later. Like I wrapped it in a shitty towel, like a towel that we stand on. And I buried it all underneath the clothes. Yeah, no, I'm not fucking crazy. But and then I like had underwear on too, and I just took that off. And I didn't give that a sniff because I'm just going to assume it was, in play. I don't know. But this smell was strong enough that I might have even peeled my own fucking skin off, quite frankly. And then part of me wonders, like, what Karen thinks if she wakes up in the middle of the night. I come in and I'm like getting undressed quickly. Like I'm freaking out and taking my clothes off really fast. Like she's got to think that something went on, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, she slept through it because the jet engine fan kept her fucking crashed out. And I took a shower. I went in. I fucking took the hottest. You don't have to talk me into taking a hot shower, folks. But I did. I took a hot shower and I washed my hair like twice just to make sure, just in case it was in my hair. I didn't know what the fuck it was. And I got clean and I threw on some like, I felt like I was in a hospital. I threw on some like nice loose shorts and I'm like, all right, relax. Went out on the internet, did my thing, went to bed. And when I went to bed, Karen was waking up, and I told her of the nightmare. I said, remember we were in the car and you said, what's that smell? She's half asleep, has no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, but I got to share it with her because all night I've been sitting on this. She's like, huh? I said, remember you thought there was a horrible smell? There was a fucking horrible smell, and it was me. I don't know what the hell happened. And the car reeks. I mean, I don't know if it's what's going on with the car. And she's like, oh, just leave me alone. I'm fucking half asleep. Like, she wants nothing to do with me. She's just, dreaming of gloves. So I went to sleep. And then I woke up and I go, listen, we need to do laundry like immediately, but we've got to go first of all. And I think we got to wash the car because it stinks. And she's like, well, you got to calm down. What's going on? And I explained to her what happened. And I said, I need to know what that smell was. She goes, what are you talking about? It's just, I mean, you probably stepped in something. I go, no, it was like a full body stink. Like I was just wrapped up in just in a fucking stench poltergeist that I need to know where the fuck it came from. And she goes, well, where were you? And I go, no, it wasn't last night. It was fucking TJ Maxx. We got to go back to TJ Maxx. And now I think she knows I'm serious because let's face it, folks, if I want to go back to fucking TJ Maxx, you know something horrible has happened. I mean, I'm absolutely getting to the bottom of something if I want to go back to fucking TJ Maxx. I twittered my pain from that joint. So, she just makes a face, but the best part of it, she's like, she just knows she gets to go back to TJ Maxx. She's like, yes, let's go. So I go, all right, let's go. Are you ready? She goes, now? I go, I need to find out what's going on. I go, we might have to stop and wash the car first. And she's like, oh, all right, fine. So we go out to the car. I open the door. Car doesn't smell. It was me the entire fucking time. Like, I would just go to the car and I would open the door and I would turn into my own stink thinking it was the car. And I just smelled that it was always there. Because this happened before, folks, in year one. One time I took the bus to school, and I smelled cat piss the entire ride. And I'm like, man, somebody reeks like cat piss. And then I got off the school bus, and I realized, hey, guess what? You smell like cat piss. Because a cat pissed on my flannel shirt. And I refused to go to school. I called my mom from a payphone and waited outside, because the last thing I'm going to be is Cat Piss Jones for the next 4 years. Hey, Tabby. Fuck that. So I'm like, fuck, we got to get this. I got to get to the bottom of this fucking smell. So we go. I open the car. Does not smell. Does not stink. And I'm like, thank God. And I go to TJ Maxx. I'm actually retracing my steps. I'm like fucking Poirot at this point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a French detective. I got a fucking bowler on and a crazy mustache, and I'm following my nose like Toucan Sam, man. I'm trying to figure the fuck. I want to know what was happening. So we go to TJ Maxx. We walk in, and I go, all right, we got to retrace our steps. And I didn't make any steps, so it was easy for me to retrace mine. All I did was sit down on the goddamn bench at the door. So I turn around to go. I go, well, I'll just sit in the bench, and the bench is gone. I'm like, why? Dude, I'm on a detective mission. You can't just fucking. How do you get rid of the bench? I got to sit in the bench and ponder. I got to think about what's going on. So the bench is gone, and I'm like, well, fuck. Wait a minute. It was the bench. Karen goes, what do you mean? And I go, it must have been the bench. She goes, well, why didn't you notice when you were sitting there? And I go, well, you said, what's that smell when we left? And I go, maybe it was so deeply ingrained in the bench that when I sat in it, I brought it out. It was like, you know what it was? It was the Funky Phantom. That's what it was. It was like, you ever seen the cartoon, The Funky Phantom? It's about a colonial ghost who hid in a grandfather clock and a bunch of teenagers fucking found him. Whatever. Who cares? Again, don't think realistically about it, folks. But truly, it was a funky phantom who rose out of the bench and possessed my clothes. I mean, that had to be it. It had to be the goddamn bench. So I walk over to the register and I go, hey, we were in here last night, and there was a bench by the door, and I don't want to tell the chick that the bench stunk. Like I want to pretend like I wanted to buy it. So I go, hey, there was a bench when we came in here last night by the door. She goes, oh yeah, we went ahead and we had to get rid of it. And I said, you sold it? And she says, no, we had to get rid of it. I said, what do you mean you had to get rid of it? She goes, well, it's just, I go, did you discontinue it or something? Because I was thinking about buying it. She goes, no, you can't buy that bench. Like, you could see she was alarmed. And I go, okay, well, why? And she goes, all right, that bench is here. It's in the store. And a homeless guy came in and ruined it. I said, what do you mean he ruined it? I don't know. He just came in, and none of us saw him. We actually smelled him. Behind the counter, and we looked around, and we didn't know what it was, and we looked over, and he was sitting on the bench, and he had taken his shoes off and put his bare feet up on the bench and was rubbing them. And I said, like he was rubbing his feet with his hands? She goes, no, he was rubbing his feet on the pattern, like scratching them on the bench. And I almost wanted to just go, aha! Because Poirot had gotten to the bottom of the fucking stinky bench. But instead I let her unspool her tale of woe further. I said, really? He was rubbing his feet on the bench. She goes, oh. She goes, he had his feet up and he was so dirty and he smelled like we smelled him over here and he's rubbing his feet on the bench and none of us wanted to tell him to get out, like, because we felt bad for him. But I just, you know, we sold that bench. Like, I don't know, we couldn't. And I looked at her and I go, when did this happen? She goes, yesterday. And I said, what time? And she kind of gave me a look like, what the fuck do you care what time? Isn't this story enough? And she goes, well, he came in the afternoon, early in the, I don't know, in the morning or the afternoon, like right around this time. And, you know, we had to chase him out. We actually had to call store security and they made him leave and it turned into a big thing. And I said, because we were here yesterday afternoon, a little later. And I sat on that bench. And she's like, oh, really? And I said, yeah. I go, my pants and shirt, like, I want to burn them. They stink so bad. She goes, oh, my God, I'm so sorry about that. I go, well, why didn't you guys get rid of the bench? She's like, well, we did. And I go, but you didn't. It was still there. I mean, did I come in right after him? I mean, what the hell? It was still there. And like, I'm this poor girl. She's just a cashier. Why the fuck am I jumping her shit? There's no reason to. And she's like, I don't know. We wound up getting it out of there, but I think because, you know, security had to get him out of here and it turned into a big thing. Maybe they forgot to get the bench out of the way and it just sat there for a little while. But we did eventually get it out of here by last night. And I went, oh, okay. And, you know, look, mystery solved. You know, now I can just go home and boil my clothes and feel good about myself now that Encyclopedia Brown has solved the case of the bench stench. We figured out that Bugs Meany had just taken off his shoes and rubbed his feet all over him, and that was what it was. And so I'm like, all right, when we go to leave, and I swear to God, we're walking out the door, and Karen and I are leaving. Well, Karen wanted to look at some stuff, but I'm like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we go to walk out, and I look where the bench was, and I actually got a tingle in my stomach. And there's a great scene in Silence of the Lambs where they break into the wrong house at the end of the show. All right, I'm giving a spoiler alert. And Scott Glenn and the rest of the FBI break into a house where they think that Jamie Gumb is. And meanwhile, Jodie Foster is in Ohio knocking on doors, trying to get some information. And as they break in and realize, the SWAT team realizes this is not the right house, they get in really tight on Scott Glenn's face, and he goes, Clarice? Because he realizes that the horror has just started for her. We take steps to walk out of TJ Maxx. I look over where the bench is. The bench is gone. It's an empty spot. And I'm like, woo, finally, that's put to bed. And I take a step, and my stomach seizes up, and I just, in my head, I go, Drake? That kid climbed to the top of Mount Stink. 4 years old. Untouched by human hands, unspoiled by the earth, by the world, unbittered. He's just a kid. He's just a kid, goddammit! Why does he have to get sucked into this? He climbed up. He reached the summit of Mount Destruction. Mount Doom. He was actually on Mount Doom. Climbed off and ran away, bringing the stink to his family. Oh, my God. All night, I'm sure he got in the car. They were like, Drake, what did you do? What did that man do to you? Poor kid. Didn't deserve it. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can get me at Facebook.com/the40year-old boy. Go be my friend. Why not? You guys can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old boy. You can follow our friend Lily at Twitter.com/MNTs for information about a show. You can also follow her at Twitter.com/LilyVonStupp. You can go to Facebook.com/LilyVonStupp and be her friend there. And if you want to write her a personal note, if those other 3 places aren't enough, if you can't reach her at any of those places, trust me, she will answer your email if you write her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com / 40-year-old boy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at 10 o'clock p.m. at the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. There you will find the Monday Night Teas burlesque show, longest running burlesque show in the history of Los Angeles. Folks, it's an amazing show. Hey, Lily Von Stupp.
Yes?
You are the producer of that show. First of all, how was last week's show? Good? Amazing?
Last week's show was amazing. It was a carnival. It was fantastic.
Carnival theme. And so what is it a theme show this week?
It is not, but Bad Knee will be hosting.
Bad Knee is in the house, folks. I hope you all liked Bad Knee on Facebook. I know I did. So Bad Knee will be there hosting, and then plenty of dancers and a lot of fun and excitement.
We have Uni and her ukulele out of San Francisco, and another girl who I feel terrible, I can't remember her name, who plays accordion, and then a bunch of hot strippers.
All right.
How do you go wrong?
You can't. Well, you can go wrong with the ukulele and the accordion. But as soon as the hot strippers show up, everything works out fine, so that's good. Wow. So go to the 3 clubs on Santa Monica and Vine. And again, you can follow, like I said, on Twitter.com/MNTs and find out all the information about the show. And I will tell you that this plug for the Monday Night Teas was brought to you by our friend Sarah.
Oh, thanks.
Sarah went ahead and she sponsored that. And I will tell you that this is Sarah's 3rd time sponsoring.
God.
I've mentioned young Sarah a couple of other times, but this is Sarah's 3rd time sponsoring. So
Thank you, Sarah.
very excited to have Sarah and her 3rd time sponsoring. That was great.
Sponsor often.
Huh?
Sponsor often.
Please do, folks. I will tell you that burlesquebears.com is still available for all of your Thanksgiving bear needs. The Halloween rush has ended, so now we've moved on to Thanksgiving. And if you want a Hiawatha bear or an Indian bear, you're pointing at me. What's up?
Because that's laughing funny. Ha ha. A Hiawatha bear.
Oh, ha, 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 ha. Lily, she's a bear creator, so, and she's got her, your knee is creeping me out. All right, so I hate the bandages. I hate them. Well, if they had the face on, it'd be great, but the thriller, I'm not a fan. All right, so, yeah, so, folks, the Monday Night Teas, and remember the burlesquebears.com is always rocking. Go ahead and check those out. I want to remind you, folks, that on my Facebook page, you can go to the Westside 86 Jokers page and become a member of the Mike Schmidt fan club. That would be great. I would appreciate it. So would they, because eventually we're going to have a gang fight with the other comedians' fan clubs, and the more people we have, the better. Folks, if we roll into a fight, because right now I think we're about 450 strong, if we got to fight Dane Cook's fan club, that's going to be fucking brutal. There's at least 2 million of them, and they'll defeat us just with their yelling and histrionics. That'll be fucking horrendous.
Oh, shit.
You'll just find 450 people strangled to death with a bunch of wife beaters. All right. So please, by all means, let's fortify them asses and get ready for the oncoming apocalypse. So that's the Westside 86 Jokers page. Remember, there's also the pages to bring Mike Schmidt to Portland, bring Mike Schmidt to Austin, bring Mike Schmidt to Phoenix, and bring Mike Schmidt to the Ozarks. I'm not sure how viable any or all of these might be. I think Portland right now looks like it's the leader, and I might get a little more proactive with Portland, quite frankly. I might make some, insinuate myself into Chris and his plans, because I want to do the fucking show, man. I mean, I haven't done the one man since August, and it was a great success in San Francisco, and I have done nothing with it. So I need to do that. So I need to come to a city, because this city won't have me. They already told me that. I know, you can't put this show on, for Christ's sake. And I said, well, I'll show you. And then I rented a barn and put on a show, and nobody came. All right, so remember to go to those places on Facebook.com. Remember that our good friend Rob Matsushita is at ClaymorePictures.net. Rob Matsushita, who makes the Chapel, which is the webisodes, the web series. So go ahead and check out Chapel. That's our friend Rob Matsushita at ClaymorePictures.net. And wasn't there something else of yours that I was going to plug? I thought there was.
I have the bevy this weekend.
The Bevy. That's a club where? Where is that club?
At the Mez in the Alexandria Hotel in beautiful downtown Los Angeles overlooking Skid Row.
All right, the Mez in the Alexandria Hotel
Yes.
in downtown Los Angeles. The address is available at Lily's
501 Spring Street.
501 Spring Street. So you don't even have to go to Lily's and stuff to check it out.
I have Evie Lavelle, star of Tournay.
Tournée?
Yes.
Okay.
French for tour, on tour. The Cannes Award-winning film. She's performing with us this weekend, and I'm pleased as punch to have her.
Terrific. Evie Lavelle is going to be there.
Show, yeah.
All right, well, that's great. So, and that's Friday, Saturday?
Friday and Saturday nights, both. Look for it at brownpapertickets.com. Just do a search for The Bevy.
Okay, search, and it's BEVY. So if you search The Bevy on Brown Paper Tickets, you'll get all the information that you need, and it's probably on your Facebook page as well, right? Okay. So go ahead and get all the information about that, and go check out Lily and all of her friends at The Bevy. And it's not just strippers, I understand. There's also wacky comedy.
Baggy pants comedy, variety arts, dancing and drinking all night.
Midgets. There's all sorts of fun stuff. There might be, midget may attend. They're not in the show, but he may attend.
That's true.
There may be.
Actually, he might.
There may be midgets in the crowd. So folks, come on, that's fantastic. How do you pass that up? There's a show with hot girls, and you can look over and go, so that's good. Remember that the Zazzle store is open. Remember that is open. And also, you can get the Year 1 and Year 2 download sets. Those are available at MikeSchmidtComedy.com through the Joe Business page. We sold some sets this week. I was very excited about that, and I'm sure the tax people are also very excited, so they'll be happy to get on board. So again, buy Year 1 and 2 download sets. You can get the Zazzle store and go ahead and pick up shirts and mouse pads and mugs and all that kind of stuff. And remember that you can donate to the show as well. If you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com in the upper left-hand corner, there is a little Schmitty. You click on him and you can donate to the show, and that would be great. We would appreciate it very, very much. And this, a plea for sponsors, was sponsored by our friend Helen. Helen from England, who is a huge fan, and I have actually not spoken with, but talked to via Twitter back and forth on occasion. Helen is very nice, and Helen just sponsored that plea for sponsorships. So thanks, Helen. We appreciate that. And I want to remind you, if you need a trainer, go to realworldfit.com and look up my friend Sean, or go to twitter.com/realworldfit.com and follow Sean's exploits. And, oh, wow, Lily's drawing numbers, and they're getting bigger and bigger. I thought the show was going to be over a long time ago, folks, but I'm sorry. I wound up getting into talking about things that I shouldn't be talking about. All right, so what else? No other plug? The Bevy? We're square? Everything's good? It's funny, I was talking to Karen. I felt very bad. I shouldn't even talk about this, but I'm going to. Karen was telling me a story, and I couldn't focus, and it's a great story. There's a gentleman in Arizona who had an accident, and his face is gone. His face has been removed because of an electrical accident. And look, it's terrible. All right, we all know it's a terrible story. So Karen's trying to relate it to me, but she's doing that piecemeal thing where she doesn't really have all the facts. And she's telling me that he's just a skull, like he has no real features left, and his eyes are gone, everything, because it was an electrical accident. And I said, well, that guy's just got to get a hoodie. And she's like, what? I go, dude, how fucking awesome would it to be a skull face? Just like crazy, like your teeth are just like me. Because she said they put skin over his eye holes, but she said you could see his whole skull, and it was out loud. And I was like, like a skull mouth with the teeth, like because he has no lips, and she said you can just see right through to his skull jaw. And I'm like, that would be fucking awesome. I'm gonna be terrible because the thing is, in the accident, his vocal cords were, this is the even weirder part, were not harmed at all. So he speaks with a clear voice, and you can understand everything that he's saying. He's unfortunately blind, and he's lost his sense of smell and things like that. But I just envisioned the guy in a hoodie with like a voice, but like a skull face, and he's just walking around. And he's like, dude, he's like scaring people. How great would it be for Halloween to just be a skull face with a hoodie on? I mean, it's terrible for him, and I hope good things happen for him and all that kind of stuff. That's fine. But I start saying that, and I start going off, and basically I do this. I do the podcast for her in a doctor's office as I'm going, well, he's got to get a hoodie, because how great would it be a skull face? He's got the crazy skull teeth and stuff. And she's just looking at me, she's like, what is wrong with you? That's fucking horrible. And I'm like, yeah, I don't mean it like mean. I hope good things happen for him. She goes, well, he doesn't have his teeth. I said, what do you mean? She goes, yeah, they're gone. Like, the whole thing is gone. Everything is gone from his face. I go, you just said he was a skull. Like, you could see his whole skull. She goes, we can see the outline of his skull and the outline of the eye holes and stuff, but yeah, the teeth are gone too. I'm like, oh, well, they got to fix that guy. Like, I mean, that's all it took was like the absence of teeth to make me all of a sudden come around to his way of thinking. Like, if he had teeth, I'm like, that is awesome. The guy's a crazy skull face. That's genius. So I said, oh, well, they got to fix that guy. And she's like, yeah, they got to fix that guy. Like, I'm an idiot. And then she goes, so yeah, she's telling me that he's on the face transplant. He's going to get a face transplant. She goes, he's on the list for a face transplant. And that's what I said. I said to her, I go, hold on a second. I go, how big is that list? I go, honestly, you got to be shitting me. How terrible is that news? If you lose your whole face, your entire face is gone. And they go, well, you know what? We got to throw you on the list. How many fucking people are ahead of you on that list? What are you, 4? You got to be 4, right? You can't be any further down the list than 4. Where is this colony of people who don't have faces? All getting on a list. And look, it's terrible. It's tragic. It's awful. But the second I did exactly what you did, she said a list, and I lost my mind. I go, well, that's good, because that can't be a big list at all. I go, you got to be shitting me. This guy's on the face list? Holy crap. Oh, man, you got to be shitting me. He's waiting to get a face put on him, and he's still out of wait. What a bummer that is. Your whole face is gone, and they're like, dude, you got to get up. There's a velvet rope everywhere, folks. Whether you want to get into the hottest nightclub or just get a new face, you got to wait in line with everybody else. What the fuck? Man, what a tragedy. They said he's waiting for donors. And I'm like, well, so basically you're waiting for people to die with their faces intact. That's all you're waiting for. Did they have to find a face that fits this poor dude? I don't know how it works. All I know is just, man, if you got to go on the face list, what are you waiting on? I mean, you're praying that some dude dies and doesn't hurt his face. You're just like, you would walk by and there's a guy jumping off a building. You're like, jump! Feet first! Because that's all you're rooting for at that point. You're just like, fuck. And you don't even need a whole face, really. You're just going piecemeal. If more people die, you're like, you walk in like Dangerfield in Caddyshack. And hey, give me 2 of these, 3 of these. Give me a couple of those lips, that nose right there. Boom! You're in a full stop. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am going to get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's got to shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.